Bet. All right, y'all. What's heading, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Just a regular CP time like we always do with this show. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. That's what y'all love, though. That's what y'all are here for. But you already know this is Rico from Street Scores and my boy Seyi with the broadcast duo. And maybe bring other people up here pretty consistently. I think we're going to try to bring my cousins Lyric and D up here for more of a basketball and kind of music-centered one sometime in the near future that we might try that. But for now, today, of course, we got a lot of NBA bubble news. We're going to talk about the guy from the Seahawks and what implications that may have on how we expect the NFL season to go, and just all kinds of stories. Barcelona being super upset, even though somehow Seyi predicted it, which is really funny. But yeah, so we're gonna get into all of that. Seyi, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and let your intro loose.
Well, reporting live from the bathroom. I mean, y'all guys already know where I am, so I might as well just put it on my handle. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that. NBA playoffs, Suns being an ultimate underdog, but still couldn't get to the playoffs. About these playing games, we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna get ready.
Yes, sir. And first of all, shout out to Mr. Jones. Shout out to Smokes. Was good, Patrick West. Give my man Seyi a ball cap.
Wait, this is like the first time I didn't wear a hat to this show, and now y'all telling me to put my hat back on. Okay?
Tough crowd.
And you know the quarantine look.
Tough crowd. That's so funny. I didn't even notice, honestly. Let me see. So definitely got to talk about what's going on with these playoffs. With this NBA bubble playoffs. I'm actually pretty excited. I'm more excited about basketball than I thought I originally was going into the bubble. I mean, I knew I was going to be pretty interested because it was really one of the only main sports going on. And, you know, basketball at this point, we're ready for the next season to start up, but we're still in the previous season. So, I mean, I knew I was going to be somewhat interested, especially with how it's set up with the virtual fans and all of that type of stuff, the quarantine and how everybody's in Orlando together. I mean, you see Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz and Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. They're hanging out like they're best friends while in the bubble. I mean, it's all kinds of interesting relationships in there. And now they're about to slowly start allowing people's families to actually enter in the bubble, but they have to self-quarantine first in like a separate location near Orlando first, and then they'll be able to move there. But again, I'm actually more interested in these playoffs than I thought I was, especially because of the matchups. I mean, we can start off with the Lakers versus Portland, and we can talk about what Damian Lillard has been doing lately ever since he missed those free throws and Paul George and Pat Bev trolled them. I mean, we can start there.
Yeah, and Smokes, like I see you trying to clown me on the chat, but it's all good though.
He said he got the Terry McLaurin head.
It's all
good. See now I gotta actually go show you know, just in case if anybody doesn't know what Terry McLaurin looks like. I got it because Terry McLaurin, he hated because Terry McLaurin head is definitely different. And oh boy, that sentence is crazy. First of all, but nah, you know, you're not that. You're not that.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all funny.
Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin. I've never seen that. I've honestly never seen. Hold on. I mean, I say increase. I mean interview. Hold on. I've never seen that. Yeah, Seyi, you not that. First of all, you not this too.
No.
You didn't.
No. That hairline.
You didn't deserve that.
No.
Yeah, you not. It's not. You know what I'm saying. You're not this level. But that's funny though. That's Smoke's not playing with you early on. But yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead and get. You can go ahead and start us off with the whole Damian Lillard situation with Portland and how they made sure they got in that 8th seed.
Yeah, well, Portland is tentative because they're going to have that playing game with the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow and on Sunday. So who knows? It could be the Memphis Grizzlies, but either way, Lakers got this. It's not going to be any struggle at all. Probably Portland will will themselves to get one game in off of Damian Lillard's spectacular performance. But that's been the problem with Portland. It's really just Damian Lillard. Like McCollum essentially has a broken back in playing, which is unbelievable for one, but he's not 100% clearly. And Gary Trent Jr., even though he's been impressive, he's still young in the league and still not fully developed yet to give Damian Lillard much help. Nurkic has been good, but as we've seen from yesterday, the game yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, he kind of gets overmatched when he goes against athletic big men and athletic centers. So he'll be kind of a weakness if they'll play Anthony Davis at the 5. I can't see him keeping up. And look, how long are they going to keep going off Damian Lillard hitting these logo 3-point shots for them to win? It's like it feels like Damian Lillard has to give it their all every time they win games. And that is not going to sustain. And honestly, Brooklyn Nets to me played a bit better game. They should have got that one. But I don't know what Karis LeVert was thinking, taking a jumper when you were taking CJ McCollum all game to the basket. So
yeah, I mean, CJ McCollum isn't a great defender even without that back injury that you were just talking about. Right. And then he has the back injury. I don't know why he took that contested fadeaway.
And he's not a shooter. He's been slashing all game. Why was saying you want to do something different when the last second's in? Everybody trying to get their Jordan shot. Do what was working for you. Get to the paint. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be honest. I wanted Suns to get into this playing game because I feel the Suns have done 8-0. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, even like role players like Javon Carter. Like this team is much better than the team we seen before the bubble. Like I actually seen a joke, like the best teams of all time. They put the bubble Suns right there with the Chicago Bulls and Golden State Warriors. Like this is a legendary team. This is one of those teams you'll see on NBA 2K21 as one of those classic teams, the Bubble Suns.
The Bubble Suns. Oh, they might be crazy. They might be like a 96 overall.
For real. But like I feel if Suns were in that 8th seed, I feel like they would probably give Lakers a harder matchup. Of course, Lakers are still going to win with pretty much ease, but I feel like they'll give them a harder matchup. Portland, they got to eventually, I mean, it's fun to watch, but they got to eventually break up that team soon.
Yeah, they're going to have to come down to earth at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, because Lillard can't just keep willing his way for them to get wins. Like you see the record, 35-39. You can't just keep willing their way. You have to trade CJ McCollum. Well, Killers, you can't trade Lillard. Lillard, for me, is untouchable. But you got to trade CJ McCollum because, look, you already got Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. is young, and he reminds me of a CJ McCollum. So if you trade CJ McCollum, try to get a defensive wing, get more athletic, get bigger, I could see that team winning more games. But that way that team is constructed, it's not going to win. Because, like, if you've seen that lineup with Lillard, McCollum, Trent Jr., Anthony, and Nurkic, Trent Jr. is the best defender. Anthony, I'm not worried about. If I have an athletic big man, I'm not worried about Nurkic on defense. And Hassan Whiteside is just accident prone. So I don't trust him either. This team needs better defense. This team was better a few years ago when they had St. John's greatest, Mo Harkless, and Al-Farouq Aminu on the squad. Because even though from Gwinnett County, exactly, the Nigerian prince. So when they had those two players, they were better overall because even though you didn't expect much offense from those two, they were great defensively. And they were long enough to guard players like LeBron James and Kevin Durant. They don't have those players anymore. And
they're having field days now.
Yeah, exactly. And they can't just keep willing Dame Lillard for a win.
and man, like with the Suns, bro, I was right with you, man. I was rooting for them so hard that I watched most of that the Suns versus Mavericks game, and I was rooting for the Suns. Like I felt like I was a Suns fan at a certain point. It was just such a great feel-good story. They were a Cinderella team. It's a shame they went 8-0, but hey, man, you should have played better during the regular season. But
that's what I'm loving about this bubble. It's like college basketball. Like you got the Cinderella team, the Phoenix Suns. You got your team that everybody expects to win, like the Lakers. But you don't know. But for this bubble playoffs, I don't think the best team is going to win. I think we might see a surprise because it's just the circumstances are different. Like, you know what? This is the bubble, but this might be here to stay. Because honestly, I've been more entertained by this than I have by playoff matchups recently, by playoff series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, completely agreed. Again, I didn't think I was going to like it as much and be as insane as I was. And then once I actually really started watching games in the bubble and how hard people were playing, again, like you said, it felt like a college atmosphere. For me, the Suns felt like Steph Curry with the Davidson run and during the what's it called? During that that NBA, that NCAA bracket, that March Madness. That's exactly how it felt for me. I mean, Devin Booker was doing some amazing things. We've been seeing Damian Lillard go crazy, and he's been carrying the Trailblazers. But I don't know why when Devin Booker does it, it just looks better. Because he's doing more. I mean, he's doing everything. He's dunking on people, middies.
Like the same height and weight as Jordan and Kobe, probably. That also.
Yeah, that's probably why too. He is a pretty big guy, and 2K needs to put respect on his name. Now, Damian Lillard, what he's done in this bubble, what he may do if they end up making the playoffs over the Grizzlies, and him being the 2K cover, we already know his overall is going to be just ridiculous this next 2K. But Devin Booker, 2K is yet to put respect on his name. I think he's usually like a low 80-something overall, and that is ridiculous. He needs to be right up there with the guy.
I think it's like high. He has to be high 80s.
He's maybe like mids, but I need him low 90s at least because he's built different.
I don't know about that because I mean offensively he's good, but defensively he's another story. So I think he's fine where he's at.
But then you have guys that are pretty high overalls and low 90s that are they're so offensively great that 2K finds a way. I get they increase their tendencies or whatever, and they'll be a low 90 overall even though they aren't great defensively. What
2K has is a rating called the intangibles rating that absolutely does nothing in the game. What it's good for is to bring your overall up. So I think whenever a player complains that their overall is too low, or the fans complain that player overall is too low, all they do is just up that intangibles rating. So the overall rating could go up even though it does nothing in the game.
Okay, and normally Booker is like 80. I still feel like I need to be able to. Honestly, I need to be able to use Devin Booker and All-Star team up. Like when we play with Jordan and Kobe, I want to be able to use Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is great offensively, and he's one of the best offensive players we have in this game right now. But the Suns have a better overall team, and that's the difference between the Suns and the Blazers. They just got a better overall team.
And the way they're coached. I mean, they were running plays like crazy. People were just open off of just miscellaneous things going on.
They're more creative. Portland, honestly,
way more creative.
The Rockets with just James Harden. That's essentially what the Trailblazers are. The Rockets with just James Harden. I mean, if you count the broken back CJ McCollum, it's like the Rockets with James Harden, just 3-point shooters, occasional 3-point shooters. It will get predictable in a playoff series because really you just got to contain Lillard. I can't say guard Lillard because no one can guard him, but you just got to find a way to contain him, or at least hope he just misses those crazy long range shots that he takes. And at this point, I think you can really argue if who's better taking that, him or Curry, in just terms of percentage. Like I know that might sound crazy, but I think you can actually seriously argue that.
Logo Lillard, man, it's a thing for a reason. I mean, and I agree with what you said earlier. I feel like Portland may be able to will one game. Damian Lillard will specifically may be able to will one win against the Lakers. Honestly, this series is already over before it started, unless there's just some severe injury, but you never predict those anyway. And then between the Trailblazers and the Grizzlies, who has the best chance to get at least one win from the Lakers, I do agree it is the Portland Trailblazers. If the Grizzlies end up beating the Trailblazers to get into the playoff matchup against the Lakers, I feel like it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah, better overall team. Jaren Jackson also has a torn meniscus for the Grizzlies, so I don't see the Grizzlies standing a chance, really. I honestly think at least the front office doesn't care if they make the playoffs or not. That team is just for the future. So the fact that they were able to be this good is I think it's a success anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
They
Local
overachieved.
LeBron was
They
Cavaliers LeBron.
definitely overachieved. You
Yeah,
said,
they
oh
definitely
yeah,
overachieved. That's
they
Cavaliers LeBron.
overachieved this
This is older LeBron, older, more mature LeBron. He's shooting
year.
from the logo anymore.
He said how CJ's a bucket, Gary Trent a bucket, and Clamp God Melo's Melo. Hassan with Nurkic, they doing their thing. Nah, they still don't have a chance against the Lakers,
Well,
bro.
CJ, like I said, CJ essentially got a broken back. Like, even though he's playing and he still hits big shots, he's still hampered. Gary Trent, I'm saying Gary Trent's a good player, can shoot threes, but at the same time, he's still young and doesn't have much experience. And
You're gonna be guarding LeBron.
But like I'm saying, this is like his first playoff. No, it's not his first, but his first one getting actually like major playing time. Now, like in the bench playing time. And Melo is Melo, exactly. Like defensively, that's Melo. So I see that as food.
Older Melo,
not the same Melo from the Knicks that's giving you 25 a game. He'll give you 17 a game, but he'll probably give up 17 at the same time. Like, I love Melo, but I'm just being honest. And Hassan Whiteside is a mistake waiting to happen.
He's a great defender, but it's always something silly. It's always something silly.
I'm not trusting Hassan Whiteside at all. He'll get rebounds. And Nurkic is a good scorer. But when you go against athletic big men, he becomes a liability on defense. We've seen that against the Nets. Like Jared Allen and just like all the rotation of big men, he even got Karooks. They were giving Nurkic problems because he just wasn't quick enough to defend that pick and roll or defend Karis LeVert driving to the basket.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Rich said Melo's a verified bucket. He is, but he's only getting older. And he's not the same verified bucket like he used to be, boy. He ain't that Knicks Melo
game anymore.
Yeah, he's not that Knicks.
It's not just about the offensive end, and that's the problem with the Grizzlies. They need defense. You see how many points?
And that's crazy that we're saying the Grizzlies need defense. I never thought I'd hear today. The Grizzlies need defense. That's all they used to have.
I said Blazers, but even Grizzlies.
Oh,
I said Blazers. But
okay.
Grizzlies are not that gritty team anymore. They're like that fast-paced, exciting team now.
Athletic and young. Yeah.
But I said Blazers. Like, you give how many points they give up to the Nets? The Nets?
With no KD.
Outside of Karis LeVert, like, who else is consistently scoring? You got Joe Harris for the buckets. Karooks will give you the occasional three. How do they give that many points to the Nets? The Nets. They need defense.
Yeah, they've needed defense for a while. That's the reason they brought over what's his name? Hassan. My fault. That's the reason they brought him over. They didn't have any. I mean, their backcourt defense, we've already just accepted. That's just a lost cause. Even though shouts out to Gary Trent for stepping up in that department. But then the front court wise, they brought over Hassan, and it hasn't made enough of an improvement for it to be the difference in winning games or not, especially playoffs wise.
And Hassan Whiteside, to me, is not really that good of a defender. He just gets the stats. He'll get the block, he'll get the rebounds.
You can kind of see that.
He doesn't like change a defense. He'll get his putbacks, he'll get his dunks, but there's a reason why he's a backup center right now in the NBA, and why they are doing better without him. Zach Collins,
that is wild.
Zach Collins over Melo. If I'm bold, I mean that's not going to happen. But against a matchup like Anthony Davis, I would rather start a 7-footer that's quick enough like Zach Collins.
Oh, yeah. Melo defending Anthony Davis is giving Anthony Davis the ball every play.
And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Anthony Davis is going to have a field day this series. Yeah, whether you play him at the 4 or the 5, Nurkic or Melo is not going to defend
him. Struggle and sadness. LeBron will be able to take it easy through that playoff series, boy.
And you might have thought, hey, LeBron been taking it easy like during the bubble, like
just in general.
Playoff game started, he's been taking it easy. Like you might think the Lakers probably weren't playing their best, but the Lakers weren't taking this seriously. Look, they already had the number 1 seed a lot. Now when the playoffs come, you're going to see a different beast. You're going to see the Lakers you've been seeing all season before the bubble. So, like, look, I say
Exactly.
it's going to go to 5 because Lillard will have probably like 150-plus point game that the Lakers can't possibly defend, and he'll will the Blazers to 1 win. But then after that, I just think LeBron and AD will take care of business.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised this is sweep, but yeah, I can see them getting 1 game. So nobody is defending AD though. Exactly. Carmelo is not that, bro. There's nothing. There's no answer for AD on the Trailblazers at all. It's just that's a done data.
Yeah,
they get some defense.
no one can really defend AD at all, but Portland is definitely ill-equipped. Like nobody qualified except for probably Zach Collins.
Yeah,
but they're not going to play
that's a good point
that much. And even though Zach Collins is still skinny, so AD will just overpower him.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally again like Smokes, and you're saying there's no answer in the NBA, but if there were an answer, the Portland Trailblazers are not even close to it. They're one of the worst. They're one of the worst answers. So, but that's gonna be a fun 5 games. Like if there's a series that's gonna be really fun to watch, even though it may end up 4-1. Lakers and Trailblazers has to be on one of the top of my list, just because I know those games are going to be really exciting and fun to watch. But I just see the Trailblazers getting beat down quite a bit.
Yeah. I say it's going to be fun to watch because of Lillard, but Lakers got this one. Like Rich said, they got some defense and a young scorer, long-term Melo. They're a championship team. They already got their young scorer in Gary Trent Jr. And you know how to go get some defense? Trade CJ McCollum. Move Gary Trent Jr. to the 2. Get another defensive wing. They'll be a better team. I don't know who would take CJ McCollum, though, honestly, because if you look at his contract, he's going to get paid over $30 million starting from 2021. And you want to get him for over $30 million? By the age of 32, it'll be about $35 million a year. I don't know if I want that contract. I mean, CJ McCollum's a good player. He's a good player. He's a borderline like all-star player. But he'll give you 20 a game, but I'm not paying that much for him. So they're going to have a predicament. But if they want to get better, they need to break that team up. They need to trade CJ McCollum because, of course, you can't trade Lillard. I think Gary Trent Jr. has a lot of potential to be a 20-a-game scorer. So, like, hey, you'll replace that scoring. What you need is just defense. You need defense.
Yeah,
like
they definitely need defense.
Was costly. They need defense.
Exactly. And Mr. Jones said, "What teams are going to do is when AD runs inside the paint, they'll double him and force him to pass it outside because we can't shoot a 3 really well." I mean, I still feel like he may eat those and find a way to bucket, but I mean, at the end of the day, how many 3s can you really miss? And then I feel like if they constantly double team him, the Lakers will just plan accordingly. They'll just still find ways to score. Other than with AD, I mean, you can't double him all day.
You got LeBron James, so
yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can really do. It's always something.
Yeah, and even in the back, even in the second unit, you got Dion Waiters who can create his own shot at least. So I feel like it's not going to be that much of a problem. Like, yeah, it's true. The Lakers overall are not the best shooting team, but then that's why I feel like Quinn Cook might get more playing time now, just to add to that shooting, because they do need shooting badly. And hey, that's when J.R. Smith could step in too.
Man, that is why they have Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith on the same team. That in itself is out of control.
Only a team with LeBron James can have that, because I don't know who would be able to control those two. They respect LeBron so much where they're not going to be wilding out, but
exactly, you got to be you have to have a ring in sight, a tangible ring that you can see that you're on your way to that, so you got to at least act right because you're on a team destined for greatness. And then you also have to have LeBron. I feel like you need both. I feel like even if it was LeBron, but it was on a losing team, it wouldn't matter. So you need championship ring hopes and LeBron to be able to hold those two up.
They fear LeBron too much for them to be acting out.
Yeah, that I mean, and I'm pretty sure. I feel like J.R. Smith mostly was able to get the job because of LeBron. I'm pretty sure if LeBron was on that team to sign off on it, I don't even think the Lakers would have even taken him seriously.
Oh no! Oh no! No, yeah, not at all. He wouldn't be on that team without LeBron James. He would definitely not be on that team without LeBron James.
With his signature, with his sign off. But now, I mean, this matchup isn't as interesting. Definitely expecting the Bucks to make light work. But I mean, what is going on lately with Giannis getting into trouble and fighting people? I mean, he's really been like getting into it.
He looked like Zinedine Zidane with that headbutt.
I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I don't know if I just wasn't paying enough attention during the regular season. I don't remember Giannis acting out like this. I thought he was just a humble, chill dude. I've been seeing him getting in altercations this entire past week. And then, of course, he was suspended in the most recent game.
He's been about to smoke.
He's tired of it.
Waiting 4 months of like, man, I just can't wait to get back. And then he's just playing off on everybody. He's just blowing off the fumes.
Boy, I mean, I was even surprised when he called out James Harden's defense at the All-Star game and all of that. But now, I mean, he's out here headbutting people, getting into, the little altercations where somebody has to hold them back from somebody. And this is like not just one team, one game. This has been multiple games.
Almost every game.
Yeah. He into it with somebody. I don't know if he like is, motivating himself to, constantly be on his P's and Q's. Because there's no way he just has a personal beef with every opponent he's gone
against.
If
it wasn't Giannis, he wouldn't have been suspended one game. He would have been suspended much more if that wasn't Giannis.
Boy, they can't afford to lose them ticket sales. I'm already looking at this matchup like I might tune in the next series when Milwaukee plays.
If it was someone else, if it was DJ Wilson doing that, he would have been suspended for much more than one
game. Yeah, that would have been it. Yeah, they would have been like, "Oh yeah, you gotta go home." Matter of fact, pack your bags, because that it is a bad look. But at the end of the day, if you're Giannis, probably leading candidate for MVP. You can't not have him in the bubble playing games. If Giannis would have opted out before the bubble even started, that would have had huge ramifications. So they can't afford to lose somebody like Giannis. And I mean, if you have any analysis for this series, you got it. I'm already ready to go to the next one. I don't even like the colors.
A special tidbit about this is Bamba is out for the rest of the bubble because I believe he got the virus.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but that's funny. Hey, I just want to pull up the news because I did see it. It said something, but it looked like he got the virus. It says, Magic's Mo Bamba leaves bubble for post-coronavirus evaluation. So if he has to leave for post-coronavirus evaluation, that means he must have got it.
Who has he been in contact with if he had it?
Everybody else is clean, so what you been doing? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, like who else has he been in contact with for him to end up getting it? Like, I mean, who else may have it because he has it? Song. Yeah, boy, I hate that song. I hate it so much, man. I hate that song so much, boy. And then you already know how I feel about music with the song sounding extra Atlanta, but he from like Harlem or something. So you already know how I feel about that song. Is terrible. But I mean, the only thing I do like about the song that is literally his friend that made the song about him to make him more famous and to get him, try to get him, help him get to the NBA by, getting his name, his notoriety up. So that's the one part of the song I really do like, the backstory behind why the song was made. Other than that,
And what happened is that song just became more famous than a player. It's like people were like, I like that Mo Bamba song. It's like, wait, this guy's named after the song. And then
there was a lot of that. It was so this guy is named after the song, or was he? A lot of confusion. And Rich asks, "Where is Z?" Oh, they'll be on the next show we do. If it's next week, or we may skip next week, and then we'll end up doing the show after that. I think Lyric and Z will be there for that one. Just to answer that.
But so for this series, I think that's the most interesting tidbit with that series. I mean, you get to see Markelle Fultz. I mean, there's that. You see if Markelle Fultz can show out. Jonathan Isaac, unfortunately, got injured again. And I think he probably could have at least made Giannis struggle a bit because Jonathan Isaac is like 6'10", super athletic, very good defender. I actually think that's one of the few players that, like, at least from a physical profile, can probably defend Giannis.
Yeah,
But
that is an interesting matchup.
We got no chance.
We may see some more frustrated Giannis, angry Giannis with somebody like that guarding him.
Yeah, unfortunately,
pressure to perform.
He blew out his knee again, so we're not going to see that. But
it's sad.
But yeah, so this is definitely going to be a sweep.
A thorough sweep.
If they get one win, I'm surprised. Milwaukee Bucks must have been slack if they get one win. I can see Vucevic going off, but it's going to be a sweep.
Boy, a thorough one. All right, moving on.
Oh, you got the Clippers. Markelle Fultz, my bad.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Yeah, I was like, DMV's greatest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I hope the greatest for him. I mean, because
could have been DMV. I could have said that. Could have been.
Yeah, what I'm saying. But the talent was there. It's wild that him and Chase Young in high school both bet each other like I'm gonna be the number one pick of the NBA draft. And then Chase Young was like, I'm gonna be the number one pick of the NFL draft. Markelle did get chosen first in his NBA draft. Chase Young went second, but now Markelle Fultz hasn't been as good. Yeah. Chase Young played quarterback. He would have definitely have been first easily. And I definitely feel like Chase Young's career trajectory is headed into a far more positive direction than Markelle Fultz. But I'm wishing the best for Markelle Fultz. I hate seeing guys like that. He definitely won't be an Anthony Bennett, but I just hate seeing the Anthony Bennett cases. I hate seeing guys that are supposed to be great end up not being great. And, honestly, and he's actually looking very good, but he's not living up to that number one pick yet. Kind of like Lonzo.
It was kind of out of his control. He had nerve damage in his shoulder, so it's just something that like rarely happens from an injury, but it just happened to him. So it was just very unfortunate. Because if you watch Markelle Fultz in University of Washington, I knew this player I thought he looked like James Harden to me. He looked like James Harden with supreme athleticism. So I was sold on him. I said a couple years ago on the podcast that when Isaiah Thomas had this great season, I was like, hey, if I'm the Celtics, I'm trading Isaiah Thomas because they were projected to have that number one pick. So, which they did. So I'm trading Isaiah Thomas because, like, look, I'll trade Isaiah Thomas and I'll draft Markelle Fultz. Turned out they made a better decision and ended up getting Jason Tatum, but that's how high I was on Markelle Fultz. It just so happened he got that rare shoulder injury, and that kind of derailed his career.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I definitely, man. Markelle Fultz he still has the talent to, kind of be great. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'll ever live up to that number one pick per se, but I definitely feel like Markelle Fultz can be a pretty good player, maybe even great someday. Just overall in his career. So, but again, I hate to see guys that, are taking high. I mean, even Lonzo, as much of an impact he's had defensively and playmaking wise, he'll never live up to his draft pick possibly. I just hate seeing things like that.
Was always kind of overrated in college. Like, he was a decent passer. Knew that jump shot wasn't always going to translate, at least with that shooting for him. Yeah, but I just feel like if it wasn't for his dad hyping him up so much, he probably would have been ranked over the other point guards, at least over De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. Plus, I mean, as much as I was rooting for him, UCLA that year, he was not performing well in high state games. Whenever it was pressure, Lonzo was folding, and you could kind of, see that as like foreshadowing for how he would look at his NBA career. And it was also crazy. I saw in a report that Pelicans players said that he seemed checked out ever since he came to the bubble. Like day one, entering the bubble before they even started playing games, they said he seemed checked out. Like he just didn't want to be there. Like mentally, he just either exhausted or just wasn't interested. They said he just didn't seem like he wanted to be
numbers. I guess that can tell. That's telling because looking at his numbers definitely checked out as well, especially that field goal percentage. I like with the Pelicans with that team. They really just stockpiled a lot of young players. And I think they're just evaluating to see which one sticks and which one goes. Obviously,
like the Celtics.
Just like the Celtics. So obviously Zion sticks. Brandon Ingram proving that he's an untouchable player. But I think Lonzo might be the one to go. Lonzo's good for giving alley-oops to Zion, but hey, that's not going to be good enough. Especially there's news that he's checking out.
Yeah, that's the right.
They more things under the surface with Lonzo, because like if you think about it, like his dad just basically hyped him up. I don't want to use the word pimped him, but it's almost kind of like that, like pimped him to the NBA. And he's probably tired of that too, because it added extra pressure on him. And he's probably just under the pressure, just to be honest.
He probably just wants to be a regular guy this way. Yeah. It just seems like he just wants to be a regular guy. Baby. I mean, at the very least, he's a good perimeter defender. And so, at least he has that going for him so far, and maybe he can build on that. But yeah, I mean, mentally, if he's not in it, when you're in any professional sport, whether it be baseball, soccer, football, NBA, if you're not 110% in it mentally, no matter how much talent you have, you're going to falter. Yeah, it's just because it's too much. I mean, with the NBA and baseball, it's too many games in the season. With NFL, it's too much damage to your body. With soccer, again, I mean, it's too many games. It's like a nice mix of damage to your body and too many games. I mean, it's always some reason, no matter which sport you play, why you need to be in it mentally 110%, or you're going to fail. But yeah, I'm rooting for him. I really liked him at UCLA. That was a really fun run. But then again, he underperformed in big games, which was really annoying to watch that season. But yeah, man, that's just dark in itself. Just to answer Melissa's question about do we believe Dan Snyder will sell the team? Nah, it would take a certain amount of owners to vote him out, I believe, and even then. Dan Snyder is one of the richest owners just doing it, period. Like not even just in the NFL, but just in sports. And all owners care about is money. And at the end of the day, Dan Snyder helps them make money. Even though we've been losing a lot of games and a lot of controversy, the future looks bright. And again, he makes money. That's all the other owners care about. They don't really care about all the other stuff going on. So I'm pretty sure that he's here to stay. For better or for worse, Dan Snyder is here to stay. All right, so now the next matchup, the Clippers and the Mavericks. I'm excited about this matchup as long as Porzingis can stay healthy, which, it just seems like he's always going to deal with injuries throughout his career. You just have to hope he's healthy at the right times for you. It's going to be a struggle for him to make it through an entire playoff series to a championship run.
It's hard when you're 7'3" and skinny.
Yeah, boy, struggling, man. Struggling. Now, I've seen him make a lot of plays on the perimeter. I'll never forget, Lyric pointed it out. When they were playing the Rockets like last week, Porzingis allowed James Harden to stop him from scoring in the post. Like he posted up James Harden. And even though James Harden is swole, he's still way shorter than him and should not be able to stop Porzingis in the post.
Hey, why y'all James Harden is actually one of the better post defenders in the NBA. He's actually better post defender than perimeter defender. It's actually statistically proven. And that's actually one of the reasons why they chose to go micro ball, because they can trust James Harden defending in the post.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, I saw
a whole video of James Harden post defense and how he's very good at it. There's actually like video clips showing it.
Oh, I need to see that because it looks so funny. I mean, because again, he's swole and wide and he's strong, but it just still looks crazy for somebody Porzingis' height to just not be able to post up somebody James Harden height, even though Porzingis is really skinny and James Harden's big.
I think James Harden probably weighs more than Porzingis.
Hey, man, you might be right. You might be right. It's wild. It's so funny to watch. Once I saw it, like I actually saw it during the game after Lyric pointed it out, I was just amazed. I was shocked. I was like, this looks so silly. But it makes sense. Like you said, James Harden is a better post defender than perimeter defender, at least statistically. So, and again, like you said, that's what allows them to run a small ball lineup defensively. That's a big help for them between PJ Tucker and James Harden being able to do a little something in the paint defensively. That helps them be able to run the small ball lineup. And it makes sense.
Yeah, and just to go over this series, this is going to be a trap series. Like, you could probably think Clippers could get out of this, but you don't want to be too sure. I think you're going to see playoff Kawhi and the Clippers probably win in 6. But with the Clippers is they still got to find their chemistry. And there's also a question. Montrezl Harrell hasn't played since March, and he will be back for this series. Can you trust a player who hasn't played in March? Can you play him in big minutes? We made the point with James Harden using his strength against Porzingis. I think Montrezl Harrell could be the X factor against Porzingis. He's going to play that 5 spot, and he will just overpower Porzingis in the paint. But is Montrezl Harrell going to be rusty? That's the question. They need every single player on their team. And look, the Clippers felt confident enough to rest their players tonight against the OKC Thunder. So I guess they don't have those chemistry concerns and worry. I mean, I got LA in 6, but don't be surprised. This is one of those games where Dallas could possibly even upset the Clippers, like for a series. Man. If Doncic just goes absolutely crazy and their historic offense, because statistically, Dallas is one of the best offensive of all time in the regular season. Their historic offense, the Clippers can't stop that. Because not just Doncic, we mentioned Porzingis as well. You got Seth Curry knocking down threes. You got Hardaway. For some reason, I was going to say Tim. Well, yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. I was going to say Anthony Hardaway, but Tim Hardaway Jr. Scoring as well. You got Dorian Finney-Smith offering the defense and hitting threes. You got Kleber playing defense and then giving you the threes as well. You got Boban on the bench, former Clipper, giving you
headbutting
buckets and occasional jumper
basketballs.
Well. Yes, it's like this team offensively is next level. While defensively, they're also next level too, next level bad. But you don't know. This could be one of those trap series. I got the Clippers in 6. I'm being safe, but hey, if Dallas comes with the upset, not sure. I was don't be too certain that Clippers are going to win. And you might think Doncic doesn't have playoff experience, but he kind of does, just not in America. So that's an experienced team. That is more experience to give him credit for. And you also got Rick Carlisle as the coach.
Exactly. What's his name? Jim Carrey. Mr. Jim Carrey over there.
Mr. Jim Carrey. Yup, Mr. Jim Carrey.
I've never seen him and Jim Carrey in the same room before. That's all I got to say about that one. That's all I got to say. Hold on. Matter of fact, just to prove my point, because I don't think people have noticed. I've been noticing this since I was young, and it's been bothering me. And I feel like it's not talked about enough. But I saw a picture on, bruh. Come on now. Like, come on now. You've never seen them in the same room before.
It's like when Jim Carrey had hair, Rick Carlisle had hair. When Rick Carlisle shaved his hair, Jim Carrey shaved his hair. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, Hey, again, I've never seen them in the same room.
Yeah, part-time NBA head coach, part-time comedian or actor.
So yeah, I agree with what you said. I feel like the Clippers should win, but at the end of the day, this is not a guarantee at all. This is not Lakers versus Blazers. This is not Bucks versus the Magic. This is definitely could be a trap series for the Clippers. I agree that the Mavericks offensively are built different. They've been so fun to watch, even with Luka moving so slow. He's still guard, making plays, getting boards, doing whatever he has to do, get to the foul line. And but their defense is terrible, and I feel like that will be their downfall in this series. But Clippers do have to get their chemistry together. And adding somebody like Montrezl Harrell, like you said, who hasn't played in March, is only going to make it even more complicated, and it's already been throughout this entire season. Then we have the Raptors and the Nets, and this is actually a pretty interesting series that I'm will definitely be one of the series I'll watch the closest. You say what happened?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the East is weak. How in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty struggle. It's but I'm actually interested. This series is going to be pretty fun for me to watch. I personally just like the way both of these teams score, even though it's not just super big name guys on either team. But I do want to see somebody like a Karis LeVert get more opportunities to ball out. So I'm definitely going to tune into this series, at least in the beginning, to see what's going on.
Hold up. I'll be right back. Give me about 10 seconds. I'm getting something for the series.
So I'm guessing Seyi feels that it's gonna be one of the worst series. I'm actually pretty excited about the series. I feel like both of the offenses are good enough at scoring to where this is gonna be, just fun, the bucket for bucket type of series. I feel like of course the Raptors are gonna come out on top, but I'm interested in seeing Caris LeVert, just emerge as more of a respectable scorer in this game. I mean, of course, his jump shot isn't necessarily there yet, but I love seeing him get buckets. I honestly do like watching Caris LeVert get buckets. What does he get? Sweet, straight sweep.
It's going to be a sweep. It is going to be a sweep. So just need to sweep the Brooklyn Nets up because this is not going to be competitive. I'm sorry. Caris LeVert is good. Caris LeVert is a player. But have you seen Toronto Raptors during the bubble?
Yeah, they have been balling. They made light work of the Lakers. They made light work of the Lakers.
I'm saying this is not going to be a series. It's not going to be competitive. Yeah, they're just going to wipe the floor with the Brooklyn Nets. They're just going to stroll through the series and probably through the Eastern Conference until they get to the conference finals. And if the Bucks don't make it past the conference finals, I could see the Raptors making it through. Just because they don't got Kawhi anymore, do not sleep on this team. This team is
balling. They've been balling. They have been well coached, deep. Everybody balling. Everybody playing their role. We've talked about that Kyle Lowry incident with Aaron Gordon and Aaron Gordon diss track too. I forgot about that till just now. That situation was pretty funny. I don't know why everybody from Philly seemed like they can box, but I'm just gonna assume Kyle Lowry can. But yeah, I agree that this series shouldn't be close. But again, I'm very interested in seeing how Caris LeVert, steps up and makes more of a name for himself in this bubble. So I'm excited to watch that. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that this is the same team that's made it this far that should have KD and Kyrie. So when they return, of course, Caris LeVert is going to take more of a back seat, a way bigger back seat. But you know what I'm saying? I'm interested in seeing how far he can develop in this bubble. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Nets know going in they don't have like the greatest chance. So they may just let Caris LeVert, just go ball out and just put up make it fun while we're losing.
Yeah, this team overall, I guess, for the Brooklyn front office, it's just to evaluate who stays and who goes when Durant and Irving comes back. With LeVert, Dinwiddie, Durant, and Irving, I think either Dinwiddie or LeVert is going to go. What LeVert has proven to me over the past few years is that he's a very good player when he has the ball in his hands, when he's the focal point. When the ball goes through him, he's a very good player, but he's not as effective when he's off ball. But with Kyrie and KD, he's not going to get many chances to be the focal point of the offense. Same thing with Dinwiddie too. Dinwiddie needs the ball in his hands to be effective. So you got three players in Kyrie, Dinwiddie, and LeVert that need the ball in his hands. KD could do both. So I feel like one of them will have to get traded. So hey, LeVert might just be helping his trade value right now. I always thought he was a very good player because even times when D'Lo was hurt years back or a year ago, when he'll come in, he was playing well. Or before he had that serious injury a couple years ago, he was playing well. So LeVert's a player, but the Brooklyn Nets are bare bones. They don't have a chance against the Raptors. So it's just more about who stays and who goes. So in the meantime, I just got the broom because just need to sweep up the Brooklyn Nets.
All right. Moving over to the West Coast side again. Oh boy, this matchup is really interesting. I can't wait to see Denver play, bro. The way Michael Porter's playing, Bol Bol, even with his limited minutes, Jokic, that big man lineup. Denver is one of my favorite teams in this bubble to watch. I mean, they're so fun. Jamal Murray is only getting better. I'm very excited to watch this. And then all of that going against Donovan Mitchell, I can't wait. I'm excited about this series also.
Yeah, me too. This is going to be evenly matched. I think Aside from Pacers and Heat, this might be the series I'm most excited for as well for the first round. Like, I feel like you really go either way. I think Denver is kind of frustrated by going out early all the time, but you can say the same with Utah being frustrated by going out early all the time.
Boy, Utah
looks like a man possessed, especially during this bubble, especially like during clutch games. I think Conley and Mitchell have finally got it together on how to play together. So this might be a difficult series. I'm just going to lean towards Denver in 7 because if Utah had Bogdanovich, I'll take Utah, but Denver I just think has a more complete team. As you mentioned, Michael Porter Jr. has emerged into a future star. You still got Jamal Murray, still got Jokic. I believe Gary Harris is back and ready. Like, this team has the squad, has the depth.
But
like I said, it's no either way, so Jazz could win as well. But Conley and Mitchell has shown they can play together. But you know what? I am rooting for the Jazz just so we can have that storyline for Gobert and redeeming himself during the bubble. I think they're going to win, but I'm just rooting for that storyline.
Yeah, that is true. Rudy Gobert, redemption story. There's nothing he can do to make up for what he did, but that would be a nice story. And I definitely agree. This series is very evenly matched. Denver is one of my favorite teams in the bubble to watch, just off of how weird their team is built, with Jokic running the one at times, and Jamal Murray, of course. I mean, he's emerging as a young star. I love Michael Porter Jr. I loved him coming out of college. The only reason he went when he went, the only reason the Nuggets were able to get him where they got him is because of injury concerns. And then Bol Bol is just Bol Bol, even with his limited minutes. I'm so afraid of what they're going to do with Bol Bol in 2K. He's already ridiculous in my team, but I mean, everybody's ridiculous in my team. But as far as team up goes next year, he may be built different. Small forward, that tall, and can shoot. 2K doesn't care about how skinny you are and about you getting bodied. That's not even like a real part of 2K. Like, that doesn't actually really matter in 2K how really skinny you are. So he might be a deadly force to deal with in team up next year. I'm afraid of that, but I'm very excited to watch them play. I hope they win this series. I'm rooting for them because, again, they're one of my favorite teams in the bubble, and I can't wait to see who they match up against in the next playoff matchup. And I may be rooting for them in that matchup also.
Yeah, you might see Bol Bol play a little bit more in this series just to go against Rudy Gobert, since we got two guys of the same height. So you might see him play a little bit more in this series. So don't be surprised with that. You might see Jokic and Bol Bol together.
Please stop Zion in that man. Please. Let that man play.
Yeah.
Man,
baller, Mike Malone is not real. He doesn't really play rookies like that anyways. Next year, he's probably gonna be unleashed.
Please.
Oh,
Bol Bol is one of the most insane things right now.
What is this in all caps? Like, Portland Trailblazers over Los Angeles Lakers? I guess I could see the other two, even though I don't think Mavericks are going to win, but Trailblazers?
Yeah, no, that series is really dark. Very early. That series is already done. All right, the Celtics and this is about done. This is done walking in my opinion. I think the Celtics got this easily.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not gonna be a sweep, but I think
it's gonna be close to it, man.
Yeah, I think Boston will win in I say 6 or 5.
Yeah,
I'm
going 5.
I'm leaning towards 5. I just feel like Embiid, after that crying, that crying meme, I don't think he wants to get embarrassed again, but it's going to happen. I mean, there's not much he can do. This team was already kind of in turmoil before Ben Simmons got hurt, and now Ben Simmons got hurt. So this is done. It's not going to be a broom. It's not going to be a broom because, hey, Joel Embiid is going to go off one of these games. Tobias Harris will probably have a 30-point game too, but I'd say in 6.
Al Horford's teams haven't necessarily performed well in playoffs, but Al Horford normally himself isolated plays well in the playoffs. So I'm with you. I see it in 5. I expect them to get at least one game out of this, but this should be light work for the Celtics. I feel like the Celtics may even blow them out a couple of games in this series.
We also failed to mention too, just no home court advantage. So you might see more evenly matched games too. So I don't know what I'm going to say 6. I didn't think about that. I'm just going to say 6. And Horford, I think Horford will have something to prove because right now he's just an overpaid mistake for the Sixers. So I think he wants to have something to prove, especially against his former team.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. This is his former team. I always think of him as a Hawk, but he was on the Celtics for a little minute. Now this one, boy, it's up in the air. I can easily see the Thunder coming away with this series, but I'm really rooting for the Rockets to win. Of course, because you know my boy Westbrook. I want to see him play as long as possible. But Westbrook is hurt to start this series off also, so that's going to have them in a little bit of trouble. And Thunder have been playing very well. They've had great chemistry.
Make sure. How long is Westbrook hurt for? Just to make sure.
What I saw, how it was worded, they said the beginning of the playoff series, so maybe like the first 2 games. I'm not sure though. They didn't come out with an exact timetable yet.
I say, that might be the difference. If I'm the Thunder, I gotta win both those 2 games because, like I said, Rockets are my dark horse team. So you know what? I say Rockets in 7 because Westbrook is hurt. If Westbrook wasn't hurt, I probably would say Rockets in 5. Like, look, I like the Thunder, like what they've done this season. But I think the Rockets with this team is going to give them problems, going to give the NBA problems. And still, like I've said, the bubble played a couple of games, seeing what the Rockets can do. But I still think that's not enough of the sample size to defend a team like this. And this is still arrested James Harden. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Arrested James Harden. That's a different animal right there. So, hey, he might have a series. And I know he don't want Chris Paul getting the best of him. So I say Rockets in 7. Rockets in 7 just because Westbrook is hurt.
Yeah, I'm kind of there. I can easily see a scenario where the Thunder win again because they have great chemistry, but they don't have anybody that's James Harden on their team. And when it comes to the playoffs, the stars always shine brighter. In the series, it's just the guys who can go get a bucket that are unguardable matter the most. And James Harden is that guy. He's definitely the best player in this series. As much as I love Westbrook. And then Westbrook being gone, will hurt the Rockets and may lose them a game or 2. But I'm rooting for the Rockets to win the series. I feel like they can, maybe in 7, but I can see the Thunder winning this series. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely see I see a scenario where the Thunder wins, but I feel like Houston will overcome Westbrook's injury and be able to. They might get a win without him. They may be able to get 1 win without him if he misses 2 or 3 games, and then when he returns, they may be able to. You say what?
Harden's going to go off. One of those
games. James Harden is going to have probably at least 2 40-point games, and at least 2. 40-point games in this series, maybe a 50 piece, just in case.
This might be in 5. I'm going to say 7, but this might be in 5. All I just know is Rockets. I'm just certain Rockets are winning this series.
I'm a little bit more in the middle, but I feel like the Rockets will win. I'm more of a 7 in 7 type of guy just because of Westbrook's injury, but I do feel like the Rockets are definitely the more talented team. Definitely more well-built. The Thunder are basically winning games because of coaching and chemistry, but the Rockets, again, have the superstars and the guys that can step up big. And I love P.J. Tucker. I love the fact that P.J. Tucker is not afraid to guard anybody on the court, and he can shoot an open 3 whenever they need it. So, I feel like the Rockets will win this, but I have it in 7. And then here we go. Probably the matchup of the whole bubble. This might be one of the best matchups, period. Even as we get further into the playoffs, this T.J. Warren versus Jimmy Butler thing is serious. This is quite serious. I am very excited about this. You can go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, I want to see at least 3 scuffles during the series. That's what I'm requesting. 3 scuffles. I say TJ Warren. I say he's gonna be a man on a mission for this one because like I think ever since that beef we had with Butler before the bubble happened, I think TJ Warren's trying to prove something, and I think he's been waiting for this day. But I
Was the
do love
MVP of the
this
bubble
Miami
boy until that
team
last
and
game.
Butler. What'd you say?
I said MVP of the bubble until that last game when Jimmy
Oh yeah,
Butler was
oh yeah.
like, "We not having none of that over here. We not
But
having none of that."
then that could also be a foreshadowing. But playoff Jimmy Butler, I can't go against playoff Jimmy Butler. So you know what? I would like to say 7, but I like to say the Heat in 6. I got the Heat in 6. Pacers, it's not even just TJ Warren. Got a deep team. Of course, you got Oladipo. You got Brogdon. Sabonis, I believe, is still hurt. But you got just a stacked team overall. But I got the Heat on this one. The Heat just collectively as a unit, I love. And Butler, as we've seen with the Sixers last year, he's just a different player during the playoffs.
Yeah, like during the regular season, he'll lock up your best scorer and get the occasional bucket. In the playoffs, he's hitting game winners and locking up your best scorer. Like he's different. I mean, he's just one of them super motivated guys. Like he's up there in the tier of Westbrook as far as like I'll do whatever it takes to win. I mean, I'll dive on loose balls. I'll play the hardest defense possible. Whatever he's just one of them super motivated. I don't care how tired I am. I'm putting the team on my back if I got to for us to win. And he's one of those guys that hold everybody accountable. He's probably the most outspoken, hold everybody accountable on the team guy in the NBA. As far as like, I mean, Jordan-like, where as far as like, you know, everybody around him better be on their P's and Q's. He doesn't want to just be the only one out here caring. He wants to make sure everybody else is on it. And I like that. I respect it. He is not afraid to call people out on his team.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. And that team thinks just like him, too. That team works hard for him. That team will do everything. They got a lot of unheralded players that didn't get enough respect either before the NBA or even during the NBA. And everybody on that team's an overachiever. So, like, I got the Heat. I got the Heat in this one. I say even just coaching staff as well. A lot more experience. Eric Spoelstra won a championship before. I got the Heat. Pat Riley.
Yeah,
We mentioned Pat Riley.
Yeah, oh yeah, sitting in the stands every game. I mean, the TJ Warren story has been great, excellent for the bubble, so fun to watch. I mean, I would literally tune in to Pacers games just to see what he was gonna do. But playoff atmosphere is different. He hasn't experienced a playoff atmosphere since he's been this type of guy, and then he's going against Jimmy Butler to do it against. So I'm expecting him to have still some good games, but I feel like it won't be as magical as it was during that bubble ride. I don't feel like he's going to get shut down that game like he just did that most recent game where the Heat just played the Pacers. But I definitely feel like it's going to be somewhere in the middle of what just happened and what he's been doing in the bubble. I feel like it'll kind of neutralize. Now, after the bubble, I do feel like he will be more of a consistent guy. He'll be more of a well-known name and will start to live up to that name that he created in the bubble. But again, the Heat is one of the last teams you want to try to do that against in the playoffs.
I mean, it seems like TJ Warren's nickname is the GOAT now. That's what I'm going to keep hearing. GOAT TJ Warren. So I don't know if he can live up to that name, but
and that's only making things worse for Butler. Remember, like Jordan, when people were hyping up what's his face? Duncan buddy. I can't remember with the terrible hairline. Clyde Drexler, when they were hyping him up. And Clyde Drexler never said a thing to him. And Jordan used that as motivation to do whatever he could to dominate him. Now, Jimmy Butler has personal beef with TJ Warren. So I'm pretty sure, Jimmy Butler's going to do whatever it takes to stop TJ Warren. I mean, as far as doing push-ups or lifting weights, he's going to do that extra set and just out of motivation to do whatever it takes to stop TJ Warren. When it comes to running laps in practice, he'll do that extra lap just because, TJ Warren. He probably has a picture of TJ Warren in his workout room just to motivate himself to work out harder and stuff like that. So if you thought Jimmy Butler was motivated before against other teams, he's definitely going to be motivated against this team. He has something to prove against TJ Warren, which honestly, as much as we've seen Jimmy Butler, show out and have seem like he has a personal vendetta against people, I think this is probably the biggest personal vendetta he's had against one person in his career as far as an opponent goes. Now, he's had some with teammates, but as far as an opponent goes, I feel like this is Jimmy Butler's biggest target.
I say the biggest beef we've seen on TV. I'll just say that. I'm pretty sure he has bigger beefs in practice.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with
I'm saying with the teammates. Yeah, the teammate thing is different. But as far as opponents go and what we can see on TV, I feel like this is probably Jimmy Butler's biggest beefs. And we already know him as a very self-motivated guy and does not play about whoever he's guarding. So this is just a whole nother level of that.
He'll probably never get cornrows again just because of TJ Warren.
I was hoping nobody would, just period. And then, I mean, since it's here, this lottery bound thing is pretty funny. I mean, just to see what it looks like. Oh, the Wizards did not. The Wizards did not go winless in the bubble. Shouts out to the Wizards. Matter of fact, where is it at? Shouts out to the Wizards for not going winless. Good job. Good job. Not going winless. Yes, sir.
We should still sweep them up anyways.
No series will sweep them.
Just be swept out of the bubble, swept out of Orlando because they did not belong.
Hey man, hey, they gotta win. They belong. They got one win. They belong. Shouts out to the Wizards for getting that win. I'm not a Wizards fan, but you know what I'm saying. We have common fans for the burgundy and gold team.
Chicago fired their head coach Jim Boylan, so we could expect to see some changes next season. Jim Boylan, for them, that's like you have an old school coach from like the 80s or something against young millennials. That is not going to work out well.
Ever, bro.
Yell at you, get in your face. That you can't do that when players are getting paid.
Do not respond to that. They making too much money. They are too young to be sitting there getting treated like that. That is dead. I heard Ty Lue may be a hot commodity around this coaching hiring cycle. So we'll see about that. Ty Lue ends up in Chicago.
I would like Kenny Atkinson, former Brooklyn Nets coach, who I felt like really got fired for no reason. He was great for the Brooklyn Nets. And if I'm the Chicago Bulls, that's the first person I'm looking for.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too.
Former disciple of Greg Popovich as well.
My mom said, forget you, Rico, I'm rocking my cornrows. See, women can rock cornrows, but if you're like a male rocking cornrows, I'm just assuming you still have on a G-Unit jacket, with the pale, but like, I mean, just straight Sean John do-rag on with the fitted cap over it, and you're from the Bronx if you wearing cornrows at this point as a male. Women can still rock cornrows. Huh?
I mean, Brandon Ingram rock cornrows too.
I don't understand it. He tripping. He tripping. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I guess Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi's just different. I don't question anything Kawhi does. He can come in there with a perfectly silky mohawk, like the real mohawk, not the faux hawk that like black people get, but like the real spiky one. And I would just be like, yeah, Kawhi just being Kawhi, bro. I wouldn't even question it.
Something like that.
You say what happened?
Didn't Dennis Rodman have something like that?
I don't remember it, but that's hilarious if he did. I remember his hair being different colors while I was little, but I don't remember him having a mohawk.
Felt like a period of time, but yeah.
Boy, I'm not even gonna lie. I forgot some of these teams existed, boy. Especially the Hornets.
Oh my goodness, and we in Atlanta. No,
bro, the Hornets were like that on the bubble, on the cusp of being decent for so many years. And then, with that being average for too long, you don't amass talent through the draft. You don't amass great talent because you never have a top draft pick. And eventually you descend, similar to how the Hawks were during our middle school and high school years where they were average for so long. And then once the guys started going to other teams, it was just
because that's the worst spot to be. The worst spot to be is with the Charlotte Hornets. If you're too good to be bad, but bad enough to be good, that is the worst spot to be. You're always going to get average draft picks. You're never going to get to the playoffs. So it's just like, what are you doing? So what the Hornets did, not signing Kemba Walker, completely rebuilding, they've done well. They've done well to do that.
Yeah, now,
they're going to have this good a season, even though 23-42 is a horrible record, but they didn't think Devontae Graham was going to be this good. And honestly, Devontae Graham probably should win Most Improved Player of the Year.
Yep, definitely up there. Definitely up there. So yeah, that's really it for as far as the NBA bubble goes. That Heat Pacers series is gonna be that's gonna be so fun to watch. And again, me personally, I'm interested in that Raptors Nets series, even though I don't feel like it'll be close. I feel like it'll be fun to watch. And then I do want to see that one Dame game. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Nuggets play. The Nuggets is one of they may be my favorite team in the bubble. I love seeing Michael Porter ball out and, prove people wrong. I mean, people never doubted his talent. It was just injuries. And then I also like seeing Bol Bol ball out and be just weird. I mean, Bol Bol is such a weird player. So I love watching that team.
Yeah, it's really got a big team overall because, Mike Porter Jr. is like 6'10", playing the 3 spot. So
cool in it.
Yeah, they could
cool in it.
Bro.
I love that team. And Jamari's not a really small guard either. Either way, it's length. I love it. I super love it. But yeah, man, that's really it. As far as the NBA goes, I mean, again, they're about to start allowing what's the thing called? Well, first of all,
family members
just get us. Yeah, they're about to start allowing certain family members, you know what I'm saying? That complicates things. Because if you have like a girlfriend and the NBA may not, even the NBA player may not feel like the girlfriend is as long term as the girlfriend feels, and she feels like she deserves a right to pull up to the bubble. That's going to complicate things mightily.
That probably felt there was a little bit more in there that felt like should have been.
Yeah, there's probably some side chicks that know where she stands now in situations like this. Plus, something that Bomani Jones brought up is that typically within the NBA, they all kind of, it's a big, world out there, but a certain type of women and a certain crowd kind of dates within the NBA. So there may be one player's ex that's now with the current NBA player that may be a little awkward in the bubble. Yeah. So
one. Yeah, well, anybody with Kardashians for one, but there's
that alone should let you know how often. There's some more out there, but the Kardashian is just the one that has the most notoriety to it, the most famous one. But that's just a thing. They a lot of NBA players end up dating the same women just over time, and so it's going to be interesting to see, which one the woman is there for.
What if we see Damian Lillard's sister and Paul George's girl in the bubble?
Oh yeah, that might be on site. Now Paul George's girl isn't like an on-site type of person, but Damian Lillard's sister is. Paul George's girl might be running down the hallway. I'm not gonna hold you. Because they from the Oakland. I'm telling you, one of my friends, Seyi, one of his cousins is born and raised Oakland, literally from the same part Damian Lillard from. And it's built different over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying in Chicago, but it's not too far away. It's built different over there. So that's a lot of the reason why Damian Lillard's such a real one out there. That's why I really rock with him. The same cloth as Marshawn Lynch and Marcus Peters and all of them. That same city. So I don't think I think Paul George's girl is gonna try to avoid Damian Lillard's sister at all costs. She would try to not be in any room with her at all costs. If I were her, I wouldn't be, me personally.
What Paul George's girl said after I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think it's personal now. Paul George had it because now it's just becoming too bigger than basketball. So yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Paul George and Damian Lillard are trying. Well, Paul George extended his hand out to Damian Lillard to end the beef or whatever. But I don't think Damian Lillard and Paul George's sister will ever be able to just sit down and have dinner after the words that were exchanged. That's done. That's done. Not with at least Damian Lillard's sister dragging Paul George's girl around. Maybe then after that, and she can release her anger. Maybe they'll be cool after that. At least cordial. But until then, I can't see Damian Lillard's sister being in the same room as Paul George's girl and something not popping off. So, I mean, there's all kinds of drama like that.
They definitely won't be in the bubble salon. They won't be in the same bubble salon. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Oh, that's one thing we never talked about that I've been meaning to talk about. Just the NBA bubble barbershops. Like, I'm just curious how that works. Like, did they hire the best barbers around the world? Because I know a lot of NBA players, especially the ones with like great hairlines, have their own personal barber. So I'm assuming maybe they recommended those guys to be the bubble barbers because they know they do a good job.
I think, and thank you, Rich, but I think that's probably what happened. I just probably got their barbers requested and like, hey, can they come to the bubble? Or they probably paid them like, hey, come to the bubble, quarantine, take your test, and come to the bubble, stay in the bubble just so you could cut my hair. Probably just got the best barbers in the world. I totally got chefs in, probably got the best chefs in the world, probably got some players' personal chefs as well. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. It's real life NBA 2K neighborhood in real life.
Literally. Wait, Ivory, are you serious? Did people actually audition, or are you just being funny? Because that's pretty crazy. Like, how do you audition? They just came with a chia pet or like a sample afro hair, and you had to line it up on the spot.
Whose head are they cutting? That's what I want to know.
Who was willing to sacrifice their haircut for the greater good of everybody else?
Hey, if they're considered for the bubble, I assume they're at least a better barber than what I have. So I'll volunteer.
I guess depending on how much they paying, you know what I'm saying? But that's interesting that they audition.
They're in the bubble, so hey, they don't want to mess up. So I'm volunteer.
Auditioning is wild, though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, one thing I do want to talk about before we get to this girl that was snuck into the Seahawks player that was trying to sneak that girl in. Have you seen that Madden trailer with like the different mode how it's gonna be like my park?
The yard?
Yeah, where it's gonna be like 6v6, and you can pick your allegiance or whatever, kind of like my park, how you had the Ballers and Rivet City and the Flyers and everything. It's gonna be something similar to that. And I mean, hey, that's coming out soon. That's coming out before 2K, even though 2K demo does come out August 24th in honor of Kobe, 8/24. But Madden comes out before 2K, and that's a good thing. Madden comes out before 2K, because if it would have come out after 2K, you already know everybody's gonna be on 2K. At least like all the
Madden can never afford to come after 2K. They know.
Yeah, ever, bro.
They can never afford that.
2K is just a movement. I know people that don't even like sports games, but everybody plays 2K. There's a lot of people I know that don't play Madden that play 2K. There's a lot of people I know play 2K, don't play Madden. I know people that literally don't touch any other sporting game. All they play is Call of Duty, but they'll get 2K. So Madden is smart. Usually, that was NCAA that would come out during the summer. But Madden is smart to come out before 2K. And I'm definitely going to get his game mode to try. Now, I haven't bought Madden on release or even within a couple of months of release since I was in like elementary school. I just haven't cared about Madden like that. But I may actually purchase this Madden as soon as it comes out. Me personally, I just wait till EA access for the Madden to come out for free. So that's to where I don't have to pay for Madden, because again, I don't really care for Madden like that. So, but I'm actually gonna try to get this Madden, either on release day or somewhere soon, so I can really give this a go and experience it, because it sounds like, of course, it's gonna have its weird moments. It may have glitches. It may not be that far, in practicality wise, but in theory, with the idea, I love the way that Madden is headed. So maybe it'll take a Madden or two, or maybe 3 Maddens for the park system to be the yard system to be fully developed into something I can actually enjoy consistently. But I do want to give it a try, especially like I'm gonna try to get it opening day.
Hey, Rico, you might like the way Madden is headed, but I don't like the way Madden is headed. They still haven't fixed franchise mode, so
you got to give up on that.
It is trash. I'll sweep it out. I'm not getting.
You got to give up on that.
Get that game. Honestly, when I saw the yard, it got me more disappointed because, like, wait, this is what they put their resources on. They still have not fixed Madden franchise mode, and that's what they need to fix. And I will not be purchasing that game until they do that. Madden 21, Madden 22, Madden 23, whatever. I'll not be purchasing that game until franchise mode stop looking like patch notes.
You might looking like glorified updates. I mean, you might as well go ahead and give up. It's where the money is. 2K, my team, and my career. And now Madden, the yard, and MUT. That's all that matters. Wherever they have in-game currencies at its highest, that's what's gonna matter. So franchise mode for 2K and Madden, you might as well just go ahead and throw that in the past. I think it's a dying art. They're going towards money and not integrity.
When hashtag fixed Madden franchise becomes viral again, I think they know it's affecting.
They might listen.
So they're going to listen eventually because they don't want that. It was #1 trending at one point in the world. Fixed Madden franchise was #1 trending. They don't want that. They don't want that again. They don't want that again. I feel like now they're going to put some resources to it, and they better because I'm not purchasing.
And I can tell you from my friends that take Madden seriously. Remember, I have some friends that like they're in the leagues where it's 32 real life people, and they have an entire Discord group with certain people with certain ranks that are leaders and admins and all of that type of stuff. I mean, it's extremely organized. You would think it was like a well-run business how seriously they take Madden. I mean, they schedule their games weekly like real life and make sure everybody's ready. They have a trade committee. Whenever people want trades, they have like a certain amount of people that have to vote on things. I mean, it is crazy like how organized it is. And they're frustrated with Madden franchise mode also. Now they still play it because they just love Madden. They're football heads. And as much as I love football, for some reason Madden just doesn't necessarily interest me that much. I'm just such a shooting game person and a RPG game type of person, MMO, that I don't know. Madden just doesn't do it for me consistently. I enjoy Madden, but I can't play it all day, all week type of thing. But they live and breathe Madden. Again, I believe they have money into those leagues and everything. And they're literally to the point where like high school players that Georgia's still currently recruiting are already in their 3rd year in the NFL. Like that's how far ahead they are. Like it's sophomores in high school that are now in their 3rd and 4th year in the NFL. So they have all kinds of guys' names that like I heard, but like they're superstars for them at the NFL level. Now it's wild because they do the entire draft and all of that type of stuff. They have the divisions, all of that.
They're actual sim players. I might need to get with them. They're actual sim players, but hey, they're better than me. I don't want to buy Madden because like I'm trying to make a stand, and like they really gotta fix it. And Jefferson in the comments. I mean, I hate to be a Barcelona like
hater
because you can't defend anyways, and we've seen from the game. But yeah, we could talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah. Oh, and we definitely gonna talk about the trash and loaning thing. You said, was y'all born when Madden first came out? I played the history of video football. Oh no, I used to love Madden back when I was still in Maryland elementary school with the Ray Lewis cover, the Michael Vick, the Dante Culpepper. I used to love. First of all, I love the soundtracks. Those soundtracks were way better than the Madden soundtracks now. But the games were also way better. It's just recently Madden and 2K. It's not even just Madden and 2K, EA and 2K. In games, just not even just sports games, shooting games, everybody's going towards microtransactions. So they don't care about making the game as great as possible. They just care about making the most money as possible. That's also why they eliminate skill gap as much as possible. Even though they're saying this next 2K, with a lot of the features they're talking about, is actually going to have a pretty big skill gap, at least increase from what we're used to 2K being.
Probably before a patch fixes that.
Oh, yeah. 2K always is at its best before that first patch, boy. Oh, my Lord. That first patch come out, the first major patch come out, and we like, oh, here go 2K again, man. Oh, my Lord. But 2K actually is going to be skill gappy, what it sounds like. Like now, there's an element to where with the right stick, if you want to, you can get a shooting boost if you aim the stick at the goal. Like, so say you're at that wing, you have to aim your right stick angled to the goal, and it'll let you know if you angled it correctly, and of course, you have to time the shot on top of that. So for the people who just want to press X, you'll have like the normal shot chance that you normally have. But if you want to be a professional, if you want to be the tryhard, which I'm pretty sure the guys like Tassino will do, you use the right stick to do jump shots. And that will increase your chances of making the shot if you aimed it correctly, even though you didn't green it. Also, the same thing with layups. You have to do it in the direction of the side you want to, and then you have to do something where you rotate it to 12 o'clock immediately. Like if you're going to the right, you have to do it at an angle and then rotate it. And this is all with the right stick. You have to rotate it 12 o'clock, and then you have to time it, I believe. Something like that. It's wild. So at 2K is incorporating skill gap things, which I appreciate. It may allow me to actually play the game longer than 2 or 3 months, but I'm excited. I'm pretty excited about that.
And for Walk, my first Madden game was Madden 03 with Marshall Faulk on the cover. And I remember those games vividly. Like those soundtracks back then are good. Like yeah, the soundtracks right now are horrible, but the soundtracks back then were good. But yeah, it's not the same anymore. It's a far cry. But God bless Smokes for eating that full cheesesteak. I remember those days when I used to fall asleep immediately after eating one. All that grease. God bless.
Man, Smokes is over there struggling. Yeah, Rich, bro. This Madden soundtrack currently, this one soundtrack is annoying. I have it muted, bro. The only way we can kind of get the old Madden soundtrack feel is through FIFA, because FIFA's the only one that actually plays diverse music. Because the old Madden is literally what got me into rock. Between NFL Street and old Madden, that's literally how I started listening to rock music. And now their soundtracks are just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm pretty sure Xbox have their own music because I know they were the first ones to do it. But with Spotify and PS4 is teamed up, so at least when I play Madden, I'll just put. There's a playlist that has the Madden 03 to 2016 soundtrack, so I just play that.
That's so probably amazing.
All the songs from those games, I play that.
Hold on, let me write that down. Madden 03 to 16.
It's probably to 19 now, but I mean, still, you still got the old songs on there. Or it's a 20.
I might have to peep that though.
I think they put the ones on there because they all know the new ones are trash. Oh yeah, NBA Street definitely got the best soundtrack. All the NBA Street games, not just Volume 2.
Yeah, NBA Street, NFL Street has some pretty. I mean, well, I wouldn't say the soundtracks are great, but there's some great songs on it. The overall soundtracks are nostalgic, but I wouldn't say the songs are great. Oh, yes. I've already made my own playlist. It's like I think I have like 3 or 4 Maddens, NFL Street 1 and 2, Burnout Revenge, and maybe another game all in one soundtrack.
I forgot Burnout Revenge.
Oh, yeah, bruh. Yeah, I have all of that in one playlist. So I love that. That's my little nostalgia playlist.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater, they're going to have a new remake coming out. That playlist was great. All the Tony Hawk. Underground, Wasteland.
I think honestly, music was just better back then. That's what made it easier because even like the rap, like we had Wild Bunch. Wild Bunch was in every Madden soundtrack and every NFL Street, and their songs were amazing. They had live bands with their rap music and stuff. So and they were really fun.
Games were less commercial back then. Like people didn't care about anybody's rating or about getting sponsored on the track. It will just be reserved for up and coming artists. But now everything is just so commercial now. So that's why
it's the big names. It's the big name guys that aren't even that good. They're just on the radio and everybody knows them. So you know what I'm saying?
Like Travis Scott created the soundtracks. I don't know if Lamar Jackson created a soundtrack for this next Madden, but like, yeah, it's just like it's all commercial now. It's not about finding the next up and coming artist or putting up and coming artists. It's just all commercial.
Literally commercial. It's literally, bruh. Root of all evil is money. The reason why the games are getting worse, the reason why the soundtracks are getting worse is all about money. It sucks. Bro, them old Madden soundtracks, NFL Street soundtracks are so great because, like you said, they would have some like the occasional big artist, but for the most part, they were just trying to put you on the music you never heard. They were kind of like the music head that's like, oh, bro, you got to check out this artist because they're great and they're not really known. That's what Madden used to bring to the table back then with those soundtracks.
I remember, I forgot which one, but I think it was Live. They put Lupe Fiasco before he even broke out. They put was it Tilted? Yeah, this is before he became famous, like a year or two before he became. He came on Kanye West Touch the Sky song. He had the song Tilted on the NBA Live track, and that's how I first knew about Lupe Fiasco.
And isn't it? Didn't they have they had Kanan before he was famous? That rapper, I think he was from like Africa or something. Yeah, he's from Somalia. Yeah,
before he came out with the World Cup song. Yeah.
I mean, bro, Madden used to be put you on the music. Another underrated soundtrack is Saints Row. Saints Row 1 and 2 have some first of all, hilarious, but also some great songs on it.
Yeah,
you say what happened?
I haven't played Saints Row like that, so I don't even know.
Boy, Saints Row 1 and 2 are some of the most fun games I've ever played. I'll always enjoy Saints Row 1 and 2 more than any GTA that's ever come out. But Saints Row 3 and beyond, I mean, well, not Saints Row 2 was the perfect Saints Row. Saints Row 3 was still pretty good, but it started getting too wacky. And then after that, it was terrible. Saints Row has been terrible since after 3. But at the end of the day, Saints Row 2, I've had more fun on that game than GTA San Andreas, the current GTA. Saints Row 2 was built different, bro. It was so fun and so stupid. That's the first time I heard Lupe too. Rick, I'm about to send you the real Madden soundtrack. And Rich, we only have 20 minutes left, so we about to go ahead and move on to the Barcelona thing and all of that. But yeah, maybe next week and all of that. When we bring Lyric and Z, if we do it next week or the week after that. Just to warn everybody here, we may not live stream next Friday, as in what's today? The 21st. We may pick back up the 28th. We'll see though. But yeah, man, we got to get to this Barcelona this Barcelona 8-2 situation, please.
Yeah, Barcelona is done. For if they want to put it in basketball terms, it's like the Lakers losing to, let's say, I won't say
the Hornets.
Huh? No, not the Hornets. Bayern Munich is a powerhouse, but still, the Lakers just getting blown out by 120-40. Barcelona is old. Of course, they got Lionel Messi, but everybody on their team is just ancient. The average age is over 30 years old, and if you're over 30 in soccer, you're usually past your prime, unless you're a legend. You usually past your prime. There's already memes going out right now, like I hate to be a Barcelona fan. ESPN posted that a Bayern defender, Jerome Boateng, would be scared of Messi. And the Bayern Munich Twitter page says you hate to see it. It's embarrassing. Like even the Barcelona defender, Gerard Piqué, he was even saying like, look, if I got to leave this team for this team to become better, I'll do it. Because he was like, he's had enough. The head coach manager is going to get fired. Yes, they do have Luis Suarez, but Luis Suarez was also pretty bad as well. He did score a goal, but he is past his prime. The whole team is past their prime. And what they're getting even older. They essentially traded their central midfielder, Artur, who was 24 years old, even younger than that, for a 30-year-old Marilyn Pjanic. So they're going to be even older next year. Even a player that plays for their team, but got loaned out. In soccer, when you get loaned out, you're still owned by the original team, but you're just in a different team for the season. Philippe Coutinho, he scored 2 goals against Barcelona, his own team. He scored 2 goals at the end. He scored a goal that was a record for most goals scored in UEFA Champions League game. He scored that 7th goal. And then they broke it with the 8th goal, and he scored that too. Like this is like Barcelona. I said in a different podcast. Shouts out to my podcast with me and JC that I have on Spotify. I said this in that podcast that Bayern Munich is going to win, and it's not even going to be close. It's going to be a foregone conclusion. But even I thought it was going to be 3-1. But 8-2. 8 Barcelona to Barcelona. You know how valuable. Barcelona's like one of the top teams in the world in terms of valuation. They're up there with the Cowboys. Barcelona.
Yeah, and remember soccer cap space. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can literally buy yourself wins. You can buy the best players. So there's literally no excuse.
in which they do for themselves. They buy the best players when they're past 30. They don't. The thing about Barcelona used to be a team that used to be on. They used to rely on integrity. They used to have. Well, they had this system called La Masia, where they'll develop their players since they're young, since they're like 8, 9, 10 years old in their system, in their farm. Because in European soccer, you could be in the same team for like since you're a child. You could be in the Barcelona school system. They could be the Barcelona under 14 team, under 16, under 17 team. So they had that going on. And they used to prioritize building their own players up than buying players somewhere else. But that changed. And once that changed, that's when Barcelona started going downhill. They stopped developing their players from their system. They started selling them before they were even fully developed. And they started buying old players. So Messi is from their system. Iniesta and Xavi, two Barcelona legends, are from their system. Sergio Roberto is from their system. Piqué is from their system. But right now, most of their players are not from that system. And they lost the identity. So for Rich, how the loan out thing works is they usually use it for a player who's not going to get playing time on a first team. They'll loan him out to another team for a season or two. And while they either develop or they're just at least up their transfer value so they can get sold somewhere else, they'll usually will do that for like a season or two. So if you're not going to get playing time for your current team, they'll just loan you out so you can at least get playing time. It's usually a thing done for young players, but sometimes if like a player like a team, you're not going to get playing time on your team. They'll do that for a player like him.
That is really interesting. I've heard about that, but I've never had somebody fully explain that loan system like you did. So that was a great question, Rich, and an even greater thank you, because that is crazy.
Yeah, I think NFL and NBA would definitely benefit for having that. You'll probably see a lot of teams like Lakers and Clippers loaning their players out to the Cavaliers or something.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty nice. I would actually like that.
Yeah, and sometimes teams have it in their contract, in the loan contract, where they won't play against their original club. So, like, if they're scared to play against their original club, they usually have that in their contract. For Barcelona and Coutinho's case, he didn't have that in his contract. Maybe because Bayern's in Germany and Barcelona's in Spain. So, if they ever meet each other, it would be in the Champions League. So, it was rarely going to happen. But hey, it happened, and he scored 2 goals. And one of those goals happened to break the record for most goals scored in the UEFA Champions. So Barcelona has been disappointing for these past few years. They've been losing to at least Bayern Munich is a powerhouse team, but they've been losing to teams like Roma and just generally teams they should be beating. So something has got to change. It's not the coach, it's not the manager, because it seemed like they had different managers every year so far. So it's not that. This the coach change. Probably Messi needs to even leave himself. If I'm Messi, Messi supposed to be essentially almost the Jordan of soccer. That could be up to the debate because he also got Cristiano Ronaldo too. But you can say the Kobe of soccer. But if he has to leave, I thought he was going to be in one team his whole life, but if he has to leave, he might need to go because things don't look like they're going to be better.
Yeah, that is wild. And as somebody that doesn't really know soccer like that, Barcelona is one of them teams just everybody knows, even if you don't know soccer. So that's crazy to hear them on the decline like that, especially with somebody as famous as Lionel Messi.
And I'm sorry, Jefferson, as well. All of La Liga is not that good anymore. That's even for Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid losing. All of La Liga is not that good anymore. Like, I'm sorry, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that league at one point used to be the best league. This is my favorite league to watch, but not anymore. I think
Who's the best league now?
Best league right now. I know you could say Premier League is a lot more competitive, but I think Bundesliga. I prefer the Bundesliga in Germany.
And which teams are in that? Oh, in Germany?
Yeah, in Germany. Yeah, Bundesliga in Germany.
Okay. So when is the next World Cup? Because I actually do tune into the World Cup. I don't really watch when everybody splits up.
Every 4 years. I believe. Okay, so it's gonna be 2022. Unless Corona affects anything, I don't know. From then, it's gonna be 2022.
It seemed like everybody else in the world but us got it under control because we're the ones not taking it as seriously. So everybody else, if anything, is going to be America that's not in the World Cup, and everybody else will be.
All the other soccer leagues outside of America are essentially back. Outside the continent are essentially
chilling.
Back.
They don't even have to do a bubble system.
Yeah, they might not have fans in the crowd, but they're back. Yeah, and Jefferson, you could say Premier League. Premier League is the best league right now, but I don't know, maybe because I watch Premier League too much. I just love watching the Bundesliga. They're just so attacking. They got so much good young talent, and especially a lot of good American young talent. Like, for example, Borussia Dortmund got this 16-year-old player from the U.S. called Giovanni Reina, and he's getting playing time at age 16. He's getting playing time, like legit playing time at age 16. And just North America in general, because Bayern Munich got this left back, Alphonso Davies. He's from Canada. They got a lot of good North American talent in the Bundesliga. I love watching the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that's crazy that even with soccer you can, football, that you can even be 16 and playing in the professional leagues. That is really cool. Like, if you know that's what you want to do with your life and you're really good at it, they just like, hey, go ahead and get to it, man. I like that.
Cool. They just go play straight soccer. Yeah. And Jefferson, say Weston McKennie and Christian Pulisic, who now plays for Chelsea, but made his mark in playing for Borussia Dortmund as well. So yeah, just a lot of good young talent. Even we even forgot to mention Leipzig. They beat Atletico Madrid, who scored a game-winning goal, and it was an upset, by the way. So Leipzig was supposed to win, but it was an upset. But who scored a game-winning goal? An American, Tyler Adams, from upstate New York, and he scored a game-winning goal.
That's so random. That's so random. Upstate New York. and that's wild.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
I know you get it.
The thing about Weston McKennie, he wanted to be a football player. He wanted an American football player. He wanted to be an American football player, but he just ended up playing soccer, and he just got really good at that. So Weston McKennie, if you actually look at him, he's built like a football player, like an American football player.
What's his name again?
Weston McKennie. So West, like West, WESTON McKennie. And McKennie, McKennie. Oh, and for all of Liverpool, they won a championship. They were already eliminated from the Champions League, but they got their first Premier League championship. Griezmann's part of Barcelona, so basically that sums it up. And I don't think he even played. Honest, did he even play? I don't know. If he did play, he was invincible. That whole team was invincible.
Let me see. First of all, I thought one of our minority owners was the CEO of. I don't think he has that much power though. Dan Snyder owns more of the team than other guys combined, so that doesn't really matter. NFL Network got the Texans, Eagles, and Vikings missing the playoffs as teams who made it that won't this year. I could definitely see that with the Eagles and the Vikings. Texans, I feel like they still will. If I had to pick one team out of that group of three that I feel like will make the playoffs, to me it's the Tech. Well, then again, they lost D-Hop, and their head coach is terrible. I don't know. I mean, if David Johnson revives his career somehow, I just believe in the Texans more. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles, it's whether or not Carson Wentz will stay healthy, but the way that us and the Cowboys defensive lines are built, you have to literally go against two of the top 4 off defensive lines in the league 4 games a year. Us twice and Cowboys twice. So the Eagles and Giants have it rough because, at least us as the burgundy and gold, we see the Cowboys twice a year, and the Cowboys see us twice a year. But the Giants, Eagles have to face us a total of 4 times a year, and I just can't see Carson Wentz making it out alive 4 games of that. I mean, you've already seen the Cowboys. They just recently got Everson Griffin. They already have Gerald McCoy. DeMarcus Lawrence is still just chilling there. Aldon Smith was on a trajectory to be the best pass rusher of all time before he started getting into trouble. So that Cowboys D-line is basically a whole lot of guys that used to be great. They're a little older now. We have to see. And then our there's a whole lot of great talent that's just waiting to bloom. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Manitis, Deron Payne. We already know that. So for the Eagles, honestly, I do not wish injuries on anybody, but just like logically, as far as how Carson Wentz is built, boy, and then their offensive line is probably the worst it's been in like 3-4 years at least. It's looking a little dark for the Eagles, honestly. And then the Vikings, with what's his name? Stephon Diggs leaving, Everson Griffin is gone to the Cowboys, and Kirk Cousins being Kirk Cousins, I can definitely see them not making the playoffs this year. If I had to pick one team out of that three that would, I definitely feel like the Titans would.
I want to answer Jefferson's question. Best youngster in soccer right now. I think it's cheating to say Kylian Mbappe because I think, of course, it's Kylian Mbappe.
You said that smoothly.
Yeah, it's because like this is Kylian Mbappe and then this is everybody else. Kylian Mbappe, you can argue if he's the third best player in the world right now, and he's only like 21. But Erling Haaland, that's a great choice. I like to say Jadon Sancho or Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold is amazing to me. Yeah, he makes that Liverpool team go. I just see someone like that creative at right back. He's like their main creative outlet. The crosses he does is out of this world. But like, I might need to get Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jadon Sancho speaks for himself as well. But Kylian Mbappe, to me, Kylian Mbappe is no question. That's no question. So it's just outside of Kylian Mbappe. But Erling Haaland definitely too. Erling Haaland is going to be a superstar.
Boy, how do you spell his last name? And how are you saying it that smoothly?
Kylian Mbappe. That's how it is. Like, just how Jefferson spelled it.
Where is he from?
He's French, but he is of what descent? I think Congolese descent. He's of African descent, but he's French.
And how do you spell that last name?
Mbappe, just like what Jefferson said on the chat. That's how you spell it.
Kelly in Mbappe.
So if you watch the World Cup or anybody watch the World Cup,
I know this guy. Yeah, he's the guy from the World Cup.
Team. That's him.
I've watched a few games of him.
Yeah, you probably watched the World Cup. That's how everybody knows of him now from the World Cup because he literally ran through the team, outran everybody. They couldn't stop him. So, and I think he was like 20 at the time. So he's easily the best young player, no question. And he helped PSG. He helped PSG win because PSG was about to get upsetted, but he helped PSG win. So
really,
I mean, you can say Haaland, you can say Trent Alexander-Arnold, you can say Jadon Sancho, you can say all those three guys, but they're definitely the top right now.
I know this guy. Okay, I know that guy. Literally from the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? I'm not super deep in soccer.
Yeah, Rich, that's a license guy.
Yeah, I remember him. He was pretty fun to watch. I remember watching one of his games multiple times because it was just so fun. I forgot what game it was, but it was just so fun to watch. Let me see. And Haskins going to get sacked a lot. Haskins held our O-line is a bad move. I don't think our O-line is going to be as bad as people think, honestly. Alden Smith, Everson Griffin are old. I mean, again, it's a lot of great guys and they're old and we got to see how great they are. But still, I don't care. Alden Smith at 50 years old, Gerald McCoy at 50 years old, Everson Griffin 50 years old, and DeMarcus Lawrence at 40 years old still sounds a little bit difficult to deal with. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like ours is going to be better because we're younger, higher potential, especially with Chase Young. I feel like Chase Young is going to be better than all of those guys. Wow. I mean, Alden Smith, literally, I think people forget how different Alden Smith was when he was healthy and not getting into trouble. He was literally on a path to being statistically the best pass rusher of all time, especially really efficiency-wise. But, I feel like our defensive line is better. But as far as from the Eagles and Giants point of view, they definitely have to go against two of the top 5 defensive lines in the league 4 times a season. And our boy, Carson Wentz and poor Daniel Jones going to be going through it this year, boy. They are going to be going through it.
Now, all questions. Now that's tricky because we're not baseball guys, so I can't give you an informed answer. I'm not even sure the season's going to finish. Honestly, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not sure that's going to finish.
I'm just going to go Nationals by default because they're DC and they won it last time. So if I had to put money somewhere, I'm going Nationals. Even I have no idea what's going on so far this season. And besides,
I always want to root for the Braves, but yeah. The Braves usually always choke in the playoffs, so.
Yeah, the Nationals thing was crazy because they weren't even that great going into the playoffs. They were like a Cinderella story and made it all the way to the end. That was pretty great. That was pretty fun to keep track of. I didn't watch every game, of course, because I'm not in baseball. But you say what?
Wait, and they beat the Braves, or the Cardinals beat the Braves? I think it was the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals beat the Braves.
You know, well, my memory, boy, I was hoping you weren't asking me. I was hoping you were asking the chat. But baseball, I am lost.
I promise. I'll try. It's only so many
asking me.
So usually a typical American sportscast usually knows basketball, football, and baseball. But I know basketball, football, and soccer. So hey, like forgive me. I need a it's hard watching 4 sports and knowing them just as well. Hockey, I don't watch much hockey either. But I think if honestly, it's just, and I think it's because of location. We're from Atlanta, so the how often they show hockey here, anyways, is very rare. When I was in New York, I was watching hockey by default because it was on TV. But here, it's like it's even hard to find that on TV in the South, at least in
Atlanta. Atlanta is the blackest city in America. And that should tell you everything you need to know. We used to have a hockey team, and the support was so bad because Black people prefer basketball and football and even baseball over hockey, to the point that that team moved to Canada. I mean, it's just, bro, we're from Atlanta. Hockey literally doesn't even exist. I didn't even think about it. When I was thinking about ranking my tier of sports, I forgot hockey was one of them. I literally was thinking about rugby. I was trying to think of some international stuff, and I just skipped over hockey mentally. I got a badminton net in the back. I prefer to watch people play badminton. I prefer to definitely play badminton. I'm not really a skater anyway, so that's dead. But as far as baseball goes, you're more likely to catch me watching a soccer game. I just can't. I mean, baseball, I try, unless the Nationals are great. And I still love the Orioles because I grew up watching them. I used to go to Bowie Baseball's games. And the Orioles have my favorite colors, just like the Bengals, black and orange. Those are my favorite colors across just anywhere, any sport, any team. So I always, the Orioles have a special place in my heart. But I don't know. I watch soccer before I watch baseball. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I can't.
I'll be honest, too. My fourth is tennis, actually. I put tennis. I actually would watch tennis. Golf, golf is. I can't get into golf. I can't.
Yeah, I can't do golf at all. He said, "I know Rico watch golf." I would never, boy. I'll take a nap. I'll take the cleanest of naps.
If I get paid to do it, then I'll do it. Just like that's how like many ESPN broadcasters, like you could tell with sports they don't really watch that much, but they just at least try to watch it to get paid. It's usually soccer for them. But golf is definitely a sport I need to get paid to watch that. Like, if you're paying me to talk about it, I'll watch it. But if you're not paying me to talk about it, yeah.
You gotta pay me to watch baseball, boy. It's literally football, basketball, soccer. You gotta pay me for the rest, man. Boy.
Baseball is not something I'll go out my way to watch, but if it's on TV, I'll watch it.
I can go to a baseball game because the atmosphere is cool.
Oh,
you can't pay me to watch baseball through a TV unless it's the Nationals in the playoffs or something. There's no way.
Going to a baseball game is fun, especially where in Atlanta. Yeah. Going to Truist Park or SunTrust Park. You know how they got different names now. The Braves Stadium, that's very fun. That stadium is next level. That ballpark is next level. But yeah.
Bowie Baysox in Maryland had the best hot dogs ever. Like at least top 3 that I've ever had when I was growing up. So I used to love going to the Bowie Baysox game just for the hot dogs. That used to be fun. But yeah, I can't do it, bro. I don't really know rules like that.
You can tell Stephen A. You can tell what sports he don't really watch as much. I always knew Stephen A. as a basketball guy, even growing up when he was the first channel. Like he was always a basketball guy. So he's basically ESPN's figurehead now. So of course he needs to watch every sport because he's their main source of entertainment. But you can tell what sports he watches for fun. And you can tell what sport he watches because he's paid to watch it.
Yeah, just like Skip, you can tell Skip is more of a football guy, and he's just he's just being forced to watch basketball so he can talk about it.
Yeah, he just made his career just mocking LeBron. Like that's how he got. He's just always going to resort to that.
Yeah, he has a voice, and people respond to it. Just like recently, Damian Lillard has been responding to Skip Bayless specifically, like personally to him, putting up these points and being like, do you respect me now type of thing to him. So he has just that type of voice and influence to where, he has a voice in basketball, even though he doesn't really super know it. It's definitely when they were on the show together, it was Stephen A. for basketball, Skip for football. Yeah. When they were together on ESPN.
And honestly, I miss those days. Like, honestly, you just watch these shows for entertainment. You don't watch the shows for, honestly, the analysis, really. It's just for entertainment. And sometimes I don't even believe some of the takes. Like, Max Kellerman will have pretty ridiculous takes. And I honestly don't even believe that he believes it. It's just that.
I think they pay somebody to be on the other side so there can be a debate and there can be an argument.
Exactly.
I sincerely believe that. I think the production team, before the topic comes up, they're like, hey, man, somebody got to disagree here so we can make some television money. And it'll be Max Kellerman sometimes. It'll super be Will Kane. Yo, Will Kane would go up there. You say Max Kellerman is bad. Will Kane is the worst person to go up there. He will be arguing a point that literally makes no sense. And I swear, I refuse to believe that he actually believes anything that he says up there. It has to be because they literally pay him to be the arguer, to be the one guy on the other side of the point. It'll be 4 of them on the panel, and it'll just be Will Kane with an obvious point that everybody should agree on. Will Kane is the one on the other side arguing.
I don't even think Will Kane even works there anymore, but Will Kane was there as the foil for Stephen A. That's essentially what he was, the foil for Stephen A. Will Kane. But and they pay him to take outlandish takes, even if they don't believe it. Because I refuse to believe Max Kellerman actually believes half the stuff he's saying. It's just outlandish takes. And Max Kellerman,
now for me,
was entertaining before First Take. He was entertaining before First Take.
Oh, yeah, with the Sports Nation thing?
Yeah, he was entertaining.
Yeah, I used to
they have to be paid to get certain takes. But hey, Red Wolf, that's a plan. That's a plan. Like, even if it's not ESPN, just as long as we're paid to talk about this, and we're on TV, that's a plan. That's a plan.
And for me, Max Kellerman, sometimes he is hammering the nail, and then sometimes it's literally like he has to get paid to be saying what he's saying. So he's like both. Like, so sometimes Stephen A. Smith will be wrong, and Max Kellerman will call him out on it and be super right. But a lot of the times Max Kellerman does seem like the guy, all right, somebody got to disagree today. And they pick Max Kellerman. Hey, man, even though you don't feel that way, just say it. We'll pay you for it. And I feel like Will Kane is that almost like 90% of the time. If Max Kellerman is that maybe 50, 60% of the time, Will Kane is literally up there 90-something% of the time just making a point that he can't possibly agree with. There's no way he feels the way he feels about some stuff.
It's all about headlines. So even the outlandish sports takes that you know are wrong. It's all about headlines. We'll get the headline. That's why ESPN always release these top 50 NBA players, and they always have these big errors in their rankings because they know that's what will get the headline. I'm pretty sure the person making those rankings actually believes it. They just know that's what get the headlines.
Yeah, whenever there's a slow day at the office, somebody comes out with a top 50 something, and like you said, they make sure they throw somebody in there that doesn't belong. Somebody's too high, somebody's way too low, and then that's a whole topic they can talk about for an hour, just arguing back and forth.
That was pretty much a pre-bubble of just sports shows in general. They were all come down with rankings. They're either talking about Brady because Brady went to the Buccaneers, or they're just talking about LeBron. So, like, when all goes wrong, it's the fault of Brady and LeBron. But in between, they'll talk about rankings. They'll talk about what ifs. What if Jordan did this? What ifs, could ifs? It's just anything just to try to drive some headlines. So even outlandish sport takes, outlandish rankings, just anything to drive some headlines and debates because they just want to get people watching their show. So, like, for example,
go ahead.
The show with Bomani Jones and Pablo Torre, that show was actually a accurate sports take show. That show was actually a good debate show.
Bomani Jones is my favorite person out of all of those. It's between him and Shannon Sharp, my favorite people out of ESPN, all of them. He's my favorite. I listen to him for everything.
Yeah, do you remember the show High Noon?
Yeah, I watched it religiously, or I listened to it at least.
Yeah, but it's canceled now, so it's not on TV anymore.
I mean, I just listened to I listened to the Right Time with Bomani Jones. He's still doing that, and he also has another show where like it's like his own thing. It's not ESPN, and it's like he does it live. I catch it later, but like he cusses and everything, and he answers anything about politics, music. Really? It's kind of like his equivalent for how we do this show, but like it's cussing. Like he's cussing, he doesn't care. That show is just his. So yeah, Bomani Jones is the only person other than Shannon Sharp that like I really, really rock with up there, like just like religiously. But yeah,
that's so funny. But yeah, I need to catch up that Bomani Jones show. But with High Noon was a show with good takes, but that show got canceled because it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, Bomani Jones was pretty aggressive with Pablo. It was fun because that's who Bomani Jones is. So that was the entertainment, but they didn't really disagree a lot. It was just more so Bomani Jones just being a butthole.
ESPN wanted arguments. They wanted outlandish sports takes, but Bomani Jones and Pablo Torre, they were just going to tell it like it was. But I guess I love that show.
Yeah, it was accurate. I mean, Bomani Jones and Pablo Torre are both really smart, and they come from different perspectives. First of all, I like Bomani Jones because he grew up in Atlanta for a little bit, then came back and went to Clark, by Morehouse and not Clark. He went to Clark. So like when he talks about Atlanta and stuff, it's always funny because he can speak from that side. I mean, he's like an old hip hop head, like he loves Nas and Ghetto Boys and stuff like that. So when he's talking about music, he's talking from like a Tribe Called Quest type of musical taste viewpoint and stuff. So I disagree with him on a lot of stuff constantly, but it seems like even when I disagree with him, I can see where he's coming from, and he's saying in a way that's like very intelligent and very well thought out. So again, Shannon Sharp for being so real and funny, Bomani Jones because I just trust his like opinions and the stuff he says, and with his Atlanta background in hip hop. So those are my two favorites, period, out of any of those sports shows, all of them. I mean, Jalen Rose is cool too. But yeah, he's nowhere near Bomani Jones and Shannon Sharp for me at all.
He just got the crisp hairlines. That's just that with Jalen Rose.
I mean, he's a real one too. It seemed like hanging out with Jalen Rose would be fun because he's a real one from Detroit, and so that's fun. But like as far as like actual like opinions and debates, Bomani Jones and Shannon Sharp for me. Easily.
Like Jalen Rose just comes off just an old head that old head from the hood that was try to put you on game, but also try to get hit with well. That's how Jalen Rose comes off to be. But a comment from Jefferson asked me from the bathroom, do I have a YouTube channel? No, I should make one. You have a good personality, good energy, much love the boat. Keep riding. I appreciate that, Jefferson.
Yes, I like the compliments.
Yeah, clap. I have a
okay. I thought you was about to talk.
I don't have a YouTube channel, but I do have a YouTube channel. I do have a podcast I'm going to upload to that channel too soon in bits and parts with another co-host. Shouts out to JC. So we have a podcast called The Sports Edition. So we have that. I record that usually on Sundays, probably because of the playing game. I'm going to probably record on a Monday night just so I can cover the playing game if Portland, if there's a second game. So I'm going to upload that to my YouTube channel so you guys can check it out. And if you want to just check me out on Spotify, just check out RicoScores broadcast on Spotify. We have other shows there as well, like other of my shows there as well.
Bet. Yes, sir. And Jalen Rose lost his card a few years ago. He living on pass rep alone. Wait, what did he do? Wait, what happened? Stephen A. Smith. I like Stephen A. Smith too, and first of all, I love his come up, like his come up story and everything, and like when he finally got hired, all that background stuff. I do like Stephen A. honestly, but I don't know. It's just Skip Shannon is the funniest person out of anybody up there. Period. Out of all of those guys, no matter the network. NFL Network, ESPN, Michael Irvin and Deion Sanders are funny, but they're wrong about a lot of stuff, and sometimes they're a little extra. I don't feel like Shannon Sharp is necessarily ever extra. He's just, I don't know, he's like the perfect level of personality. He's not doing too much, and he also has good points a lot of the time. You can tell like he really put in the work to like learn other sports, because of course when you come up and you're an NFL player and people expect you to only do NFL coverage, I mean, he had to sit there and like really learn every other sport so that he could be able to debate with Skip, no matter what they were talking about, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever. I mean, they avoid a lot of those topics most of the time. They stick to normally football and basketball, of course. But, you know, you can tell that he's put in the work to learn those other sports. And then Bomani Jones, because, I mean, I've even heard from other ESPN people say that when Bomani Jones is in a room with other ESPN analysts, he's usually like almost all of the time the smartest person in the room. You can tell the way he talks, the way he articulates himself. He's literally the smartest person in the room most of the time. Whenever he's in any building,
it's between him and Pablo Torre.
Yeah, Pablo Torre's up there too, man. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you already know he went to Harvard, and Bomani Jones used to always use that as a way to joke, and always used it as a joke for him. He always found a way to make it sound like a negative. But yeah, Pablo Torre is definitely really smart too. I like him too.
And look, I've been listening to Stephen A. since my childhood, since he was on the Best Damn Sports Show. So Stephen A. has been an inspiration for me, and I got a chance to meet him. And when they had the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and yo, he is tall. I don't know if you want the old ESPN First Take, but I was literally in the background for one of the First Take shows when they had the Super Bowl in Atlanta. And as I was like one of the people like behind the seats watching and everything. I was also on NFL Live too with a Patriots jersey, with a Moss Patriots jersey when Moss is on there. But like yeah, so I actually met Stephen A. Like, look, he's my inspiration, and I feel like I can speak for like other black sportscasters. He's like a black sportscaster inspiration, because I mean he did play college ball, but he didn't play for like Division I school or anything. He didn't become a pro playing college. He just had to grind being a sportscaster, and he did it at a time where there was even less black people on TV that were former professional athletes. So like he's an inspiration for all of us both. You might not like him now, but hey, I look at Stephen A. and like, hey, he's making about $10 million a year. So he's just doing what he's doing because he's collecting the bag right now. He already made his career. He already made,
and he was smart. Growing up in New York, you know how hard it is to have to go to a city like Philly and cover that, or Boston. I mean, Philly in his case, but to be like having to go to a rival city and be like a super honer and a reporter for them. And hey man, I mean, I know that doesn't necessarily sound like a big sacrifice to everybody, but to grow up a Knicks fan and Yankees and then have to go and cover the Sixers and all of those different teams in Philadelphia for like what 20 years, I believe. Stuff like that. I mean, just to have to make even sacrifices like that. So shouts out to him. He really came up from the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. Like if you like really see his whole life story, like he really had to grind. So right now, some people might not like his character, but what I see from Stephen A., he's just celebrating his grind. He's happy now. He's happy. He's just celebrating. So he still works extremely hard, as you see, because he's literally on every single ESPN show. But
he's like the guy. It's crazy that he's worked his way up to being the top ESPN guy. He's literally the top ESPN. Like literally, is nobody on the level of Stephen A. Smith.
And when I said seeing Stephen A. Smith, from quite frankly, I would have thought he'd be a top ESPN guy, because I thought Stephen A. Smith would be too vulgar to be the top ESPN guy. If any of y'all have not watched, quite frankly, that was like literally one of my favorite shows before it got canceled way too short, because ESPN did not watch. ESPN probably felt it was just too. It was too ignorant for them. It was too ignorant. I loved it. Brought AI Allen Iverson to the show. I loved it. But Yeah,
and don't forget Stephen A. Smith is top 3 meme god, like period. Like not even just sports world, period. As far as a human being goes, Stephen A. Smith is top 3 memed people ever, bro.
He's like Drake in terms of like knowing what will create a meme, what won't create a meme. Like how Drake will have those certain faces or do those certain dances, knowing that's probably going to be a meme. Stephen A. Smith's the same way. Like it seems like he knows. He got it.
Some of his memes are hilarious. Like the meme with the straight face is one of the funniest memes they use for him. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. That meme where it's the super straight face is so funny to me. Oh my lord, I'm gonna find it.
If Stephen A. Smith's hair sharp have a show, I gotta watch. Like I'm that's gonna be super entertaining. That's gonna be comedy.
I think his podcast ended a minute ago, right?
Say what?
Didn't his podcast end like a minute ago? I feel like didn't it?
Stephen A. Smith's podcast, he does it at night.
No, I thought it ended. I thought he like ended it or something. I remember him saying his goodbyes.
Really? What?
I remember him saying this is gonna be my last time. Either he had to change platforms or something. I remember him saying goodbye on his podcast one time.
That podcast to me is more entertaining than First Take, because that's when you'll get Stephen A. Smith. That's when he'll do more takes on that podcast. He'll do more actual takes. First Take is for entertainment, but his regular podcast, that's where he'll give you his takes.
Yeah, exactly. And like the way he really feels about stuff.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't find that meme, bro. That Stephen A. Smith meme is hilarious, bro. Whenever it's just
straight face Stephen A. Smith, probably you'll find that.
I know they did it when Lonzo Ball couldn't make a shot that first game that the Pelicans played. They were like, I gotta find it. It was like the rim's face every time Lonzo puts up a shot or a layup, and it's just that straight face from Stephen A. Smith, bro. Oh my lord, I gotta find that, bro. That bro.
Hairline know it's pushed past the Mason Dixon line. Like that hairline's like right there. But hey, his hairline's the trademark. His hairline's the trademark. We can't hate.
Bro, help that man. Somebody help that man. Does he not? Could just go bald, bro.
We talk about Monty Jones. He's looking like Stephen A. Smith with that hairstyle he got on right now. He need to come back.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Him and Chico Bean are doing some weird thing where they're usually bald, but since quarantine, they're like, I'm gonna let it grow out. I guess because they don't want to go to a barber shop. Yeah, but Stephen A. Smith was doing that pre-quarantine. He just thought that was okay to do.
Yo, like, yeah, Mine Jones really got that Stephen A. Smith hairline too. You hate to see
it. Oh yeah, baby Stephen A. Smith is hilarious too. That's funny. Dang, I can't find the Lonzo thing, like, bro. They got
that Stephen A. Smith sometimes sound like Courage the Cowardly Dog when he's like stuttering. It's like
that's so stupid. I didn't even think about that. Bruh, I'm trying to find, bro. That meme is hilarious. I thought I liked it. I could have sworn I liked it. Dang, I can't find it. I mean, we about to end the show anyway. So I think you're feeling too familiar. Oh yeah, Rich, you about to mess up, boy. You don't want to go down that road. I'm telling you. You think I'm bad. You think me, Z, and Lyric are bad. You go ahead and go down that road. Why am I reading Rich comments in Stephen A. voice? That's the natural look. Nah. I mean, you got to go bald, bro. It's a certain point you got to go bald. At least I'm going bald. You not catching me with my hairline all the way up my head. I'm going bald, or I'm stitching a hat to my head permanently.
If this hairline was over here, I would just not have no hair at all.
Yeah, you're not catching me, bro. That's the worst thing ever. My friends and my family will never let me live down having a hairline like Stephen A. Smith, ever. Yeah, you're not catching me like that, ever. You're not catching a picture. I don't care. I'm not letting my kids get that ammo. So nobody.
Stevie Wonder look? You ain't going to have like the pushback drag?
Ever, bro. I will go bald immediately and wear hats for the rest of my life. But there will never be a time you'll catch my hairline midway up my forehead. Ever. You won't. I'll just go bald.
I did have this one friend that like his hair just receded at a young age. Like his hairline was receding at high school.
Boy,
So
NCAA recruits were bald, all of them, like half
yeah.
of them. When you were playing NCAA,
Oh yeah,
back when half the recruits were bald. Dang, man, do it. Go that route. Go that route.
Like, I swore I've never seen, like, when I saw him like after high school, I've never seen his hair anymore. Like, he always had on hats. I've never seen his hair anymore. And I knew his hairline was receding in high school, so I just assumed he just went completely bald. And he's just putting on hats all the time.
He said, my man's got an assistant principal haircut. And boy, Rich, I'm telling you, you better stop while you ahead. You always feel like you got to prove a point. It's going to get dark for you. I'm telling you. You will get mutilated. But yeah, bruh, you're not catching me with a hairline like that ever. Bruh, never in life. I will look like a Fat Albert in the game character with a permanent hat stitched to my head. I will get it sewed into my head. Surgery, whatever you got to do.
Double D from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. You never see him without that.
Yeah, exactly. Double D, exactly. You're not catching me with a receding hairline, bro. But Stephen A. Smith he's up there in age, and he's from New York. And New Yorkers just, in general, I know a lot of New Yorkers that really do care, but in general, New Yorkers just aren't as serious about certain things like that as we are. They're not as picky as we are down here. Down here, certain shoelaces, certain shoes, certain ways you wear your socks, certain ways your pants, anything can be pointed out. You know what I'm saying? And it's the topic of the day for hours, the whole day at school. But New York isn't the same, so you can kind of get away with stuff like that. I mean, of course, there's gonna be somebody to joan on you, but it's not the same. He said, "Bro, you tripping? You have to earn a hairline like that." But you not getting me.
No. Yo, I swear, if I have a receding hairline, that'll be the worst day of my life. That's my biggest fear at all. Look, I got gray hairs, but I'm fine with that. But if I have a receding
I'll take
hairline,
that. Yeah, I'll take the gray hairs.
I don't know, man. I might be depressed if I have a receding hairline. Like,
I'm telling, Ball wearing wigs, wearing anything but receding hairline. I'm sorry, you're not catching me.
Program if I have that, I got to get into LeBron James, Wayne Rooney, all those programs.
Bro, because I mean, all it takes is one picture and it's immortal. The picture's never gonna disappear.
Yo, I'll be so fed up with life if I have receding hairline. I'll take the gray hairs. Hey, I could do the LeBron look now, I guess. I guess when I get a little bit older and I get more gray hairs, but the receding hairline, I would not be able to take that. I'm glad I got gray jeans.
I'm not doing and bald permanent hat on my head, like you said, like Double D. You're not catching me. He's not catching me. I don't want to be bald, but I prefer to be bald over receiving hairline. But it is about 10:30, so we can go ahead and dip up. We can go ahead and dip up out of here. As Smoke said, it's coming. Hey man, at some point when it does come, then hey man, let it be that. But but hey, until then, I'm gonna enjoy what I got. And then when we start, seeing a little bit of changes, a little bit of a little fade away, then it's time to go, bro. As much as I love my hair, I love long hair. I don't like shortcuts. I'm just gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it.
Smoke said them dreads gonna snatch your hairline eventually, bro. That's what he said.
I mean, a lot of people say that, but a lot of people would
pull back that hairline.
Not everybody Stevie Wonder. I mean, a lot of people's locks do last forever. They be extra old, like in their like 60s and in 70s, and still their hairline straight with locks. So I don't know if I just need to make sure I take care of mine. But again, worst case scenario, I will go bald. You will not catch me with the Stevie Wonders. Stevie Wonder only has enough room for like 3 locks, bro. he only has enough hairline left for 3 locks, bro. It's really bad, bro. And not even the Florida big 3 locks, like 3 my locks. What if you go bald in the back first, though?
I can't even see back there. I've never seen anybody with dreads go bald in the back. Is that possible? Oh no!
I don't know. I've never seen somebody end up in that situation. But same thing. If I start losing hair and this is a significant amount enough in the back, I'm going bald.
Is your dress just going to get shorter or something? Or just going to wake up with
I don't
dress
even know how that works.
Like, how does that
Because
happen?
your hair goes down, so like how much would you have to lose for it to be noticeable? You can't even really see the back of my neck because of how much hair I have. So I don't know. You have to
wait to receive because it's like someone either has to tell you or just probably going to scratch your head. It's like, wait, why
That's
is this?
a good point. That's a good point. You do.
Yo,
Somebody would have to tell you that. That is a good point. Somebody would have to tell you that. You won't just know that off rip. But yeah, so I think it's a good time to get up out of here. We covered Barcelona, we covered NBA. We didn't cover Buddy from the Seahawks, but we can talk about that next time if we remember.
Man. Yeah. No, do you want to just talk about that right now? Or you want to go?
Yeah, we can just go ahead and knock it out real quick.
Yeah. NFL season ain't lasting. That's all I gotta say. NFL season is not lasting. You already see what's going on. You already see the foolishness. I do not trust NFL players at all. Collective football players, like, well, let's be honest, they don't have their priorities in order. They really don't.
I'm just confused because
I've been on football season, I know.
Isn't it an optional bubble? So I'm not even understanding why he even chose to sneak somebody into a bubble that he didn't have to be. Why not just live at home? So first of all, if y'all don't know, Seahawks waived rookie Kamai Siverin for trying to sneak a female visitor in the team hotel. And I'm just trying to figure out, if the bubble isn't like mandatory, why not be at home with that lady rather than being at the optional bubble where people are trying to quarantine and you're trying to make sure they keep outside visitors to a minimal, and you're trying to sneak somebody into that. And what he tried to do was dress her up in Seahawks gear. I think she literally have on like a helmet and shoulder pads or something and tried to sneak her into the hotel that way. First of all, she's probably way too short for it to make like it make sense. And then also, why would a football player be walking into the hotel fully uniformed up with pads and everything? That's another thing. That just looks silly. I just imagine her sneaking in like a cartoon like this, trying to
what you trying to like. They ain't gonna work.
When people would pass by, she would be like, act natural and would go like this. Look, pretending to hold a football. Like, I just don't understand the logic behind
ready for practice already, just straight from the hotel room, ready for practice. Like, let's go.
Yo, why? Why are you at the hotel padded up? Helmet, pads, jersey, everything. That doesn't make sense. And then she was probably too short.
I've read.
Bruh.
And we already talked about DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar, but I think that this could be worse than that. But just in terms of
stupid. Yeah, he won't get jail time, but it's stupidity. His job is done. He may never get an NFL opportunity ever again. And it's just, I'm so confused. It was so bad. I was so disappointed. I had to look up where he was from to make sure he wasn't from here. Because I was like, bro, we do not deserve that L.
Where he's from?
He's from Houston. Thank goodness. He is from Houston. Whoo. Boy, thank goodness. That is not our problem. That is y'all problem to deal with. Boy, I just want to know who even saw it first on the security cameras, was looking at it like, who? Like, what? Wait, what? Because I'm pretty sure he was dressed normal, and then the girl was in pads. So he's like, wait, why is there a Seahawks player dressed normal and another Seahawks player dressed like he's ready to go to the game right now?
Analysis. Analysis.
I'm so confused, bro. That whole situation is so weird and silly. That they need to do a way better job with that. So of course he was released immediately, waived as a matter of fact. I'm pretty sure he cleared waivers. Nobody's about to just pick that man up with those shenanigans. It wasn't even like he was like a first round pick where you can be like, all right, we're gonna find you or whatever, and we're gonna move on from this. Nah, you're not worth the dead weight.
You had a lot to lose. You're an undrafted free agent.
I just don't understand. I know his family is so disappointed in him. They were so happy his whole journey, underdog, makes it to an NFL roster, gonna make millions, and now that's gone. Now he got to go get a regular job. He's, just somewhere, or go back to college and finish his education if he didn't, or whatever he has to do. But football is not it. At least maybe he can go with the Rock and them over it. I think it's the XFL that the Rock just bought. Maybe he can do that.
That's probably gonna be around till 2022 though, so he's gonna have to wait a couple of years for that.
Did he convince her, or did she convince him to go as far as the uniform?
That's a great question. No,
that's a great question. Whose idea was that? Who is the idiot, and then who is the person following the idiot, which makes them the bigger idiot?
The streets need to know.
We gotta know more information.
Look, this is just the first of it. Watch. During this season, you're gonna have a lot of these stories. This is just the first we hear. So I'm saying this NFL season is not gonna last.
AGM said maybe she should have worn a mascot costume. Maybe that would have worked a little bit better. I mean, it still would have been extremely suspicious, but it would have worked better.
Why would you be fully dressed in a mascot uniform coming out from the hotel room too?
The hotel.
You never reveal your identity at all, even to the players. Why is the mascot even there during practice?
Like, why? Why is the mascot involved in anything except for week 1 regular season? Why is he involved in the hotel? I'm pretty sure he's living a normal life, no quarantine, no nothing until like 2 weeks before the season starts. And then Smoke give him a few years, although I would fight Rico if he lost his job for it. Somebody should send that boy a fleshlight.
He's probably on site with his mama, honestly. He's probably on site.
Boy, you know, if that was my son, he would have to go, I don't know, he would have to be kicked out the house for a day, at least one night. You gotta, hey man, you gotta think that over. You gotta do something, bro. I gotta fight him.
Make at least 6 figures and you throw it all away because you try to get a girl in and dress her up as a football player inside your training camp bubble.
And again, like, come on, bruh. I think we don't even have a bubble for the NFL. Like, you don't have to be at that team hotel. He could just Airbnb somewhere else, and they would have had no problems. No problems. He literally wouldn't be dealing with any of this if he just wasn't at the team hotel, whose strict rules are to quarantine and not bring outside people in for no reason, unless they're like a necessity. He could easily just live on his own, live with his family, live maybe with another teammate, live anywhere but the team hotel. Bruh, there's so many things that went wrong. You know his family is clowning him except those who are mad at him. Oh, yeah. If I was one of his cousins, he's getting jokes for the rest of his life. Oh, yeah. Over with. Oh, yeah. Jokes for the rest of his life.
Some person went to high school with this dude. Oh, no.
Oh, and Smokes has a good point too. But how selfish is he to bring one woman to a place with 100 lonely dudes? That's another thing. Somebody probably snitched on him. Yeah, somebody probably snitched. Was like, hey, I can't bring my girl over here. He over it. Nah, man. I'm gonna need you to get up out of here with all that. He better marry her if it's like that. That's a good point. Imagine if he did marry her. But they gotta be like this, man. They gotta be like this.
He literally risked it all. Like, yeah, you want a man that is willing to risk it all. That's a man that's willing to risk it all. He definitely risked it and lost it.
In a bad way. Risked it all and lost it all. Lost all of it, boy.
That's him.
Boy, that man about to be working at a Blockbuster, the last Blockbuster on earth, bro. Poor baby. He's done. He about done here, man. As far as football goes, he could try again, like you said, it may be a couple of years. Huh?
Flag football. He could try that.
Hey, man. Maybe a different sport. Maybe baseball didn't get the news yet. Maybe they don't know. Maybe try out for a baseball team. Try out for a minor league baseball team and go under a new name or something. I don't know.
They all don't care over there. They all got COVID over there. Could play for.
Oh yeah, they already got. Yeah, go play baseball. Yeah, go ahead. That's your only chance of making millions right now, or like quickly. Dude left their wives at home so he can sneak a random thought into the.
Wilson left Sierra at home, but this undrafted free agent wants to sneak some girl to a hotel. Russell Wilson left Sierra at home, but you trying to sneak a girl to a hotel and trying to dress her up as a football player.
And so, which is better, the sneaking or the trip for the wings? I mean, I can tell you what's dumber. That sneaking is definitely dumber.
Like,
It's funnier.
Will knew that once he quarantined, he'll be back for at least the playoffs, and that team is already winning. And he's Lou Williams, an established player, and that guy's an undrafted free agent who hasn't made the roster yet.
And it's not even like Lou Williams tried to necessarily hide what he was doing. That's what makes this worse also for the Seahawks player, is that it was trying to sneak somebody in. Like, they knew what they were doing was really bad, and they tried to do it anyway. Lou Williams was more so on the side of, I don't even think it's that bad. I'm just getting some wings real quick. I'll come back and quarantine, whatever I got to do before I play us, whatever.
Because his family members passed, he just made that quick pit stop to get the wings.
Yeah, that wasn't even like the central idea of that trip. And then when that Gorilla Grip was better than the NFL check, or should I say worse? As well as know as illy as casual say it is. I'm gonna say the wings because at least Lou had the win. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's a good point. At least Lou Williams got to eat the wings. I don't know if Kamai Silverman was able to even do what he wanted to do. Well, old girl, so you know what I'm saying. I'm not even sure if he completed the mission, but he still ended up failing. So Lou Williams definitely.
All. I didn't know if he even ate at all or whatever. So Lou Williams ate something. At least we know that.
So yeah, that's man. Lou Williams wins all the way in every way. Looking at it. Compared to this Kamai Silverman person. Plus, you know, Lou Williams from Atlanta and Kamai Silverman's from Houston. So, you know what I'm saying? That's another slight win right there just off of that. But yeah, man, that's sad. He got waived immediately. They heard that and I'm pretty sure Pete Carroll was just right there. I'm pretty sure he didn't even say words. He was just, y'all know what to do. You know what to do. He said, I need them to release the tape of the sneak. Bro, I really need that sneak-in tape. I really need that sneak-in tape immediately. I got to see what it looks like. Because if I see her doing this like the cartoons trying to sneak in, and whenever somebody like a Bobby Wagner or a Russell Wilson pass by, she'd be like, act natural and do a football.
Bobby Wagner on your team. I'll be scared of him for one. You got Bobby Wagner on your team. And you're trying to bring a girl in? Like, bro, you wildin'.
I'm pretty sure she ran a few routes to make it look legit. Just all kinds of stupid stuff. I need the footage. Somebody gotta release that footage. I'm gonna check for it for the coming weeks. Do you guys play Grand Theft Auto online? No, sir. I'm not really. I'm not really a Grand Theft Auto person. I prefer Saints. Saints Row 2 is the most fun out of any of those games I've ever played. But now Saints Row is terrible and GTA is cool, but I play first-person shooters and a little and MMOs and a little bit of sports games, a little bit.
It seems like we had GTA 5 for like a whole decade now, and I really only play the stories, honestly.
It's about to be 3 consoles, 3 Xbox 360, Xbox One, and whatever this next one is called, and then PlayStation 3, 4, and 5, all GTA, the same GTA too.
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't care for online. I play the story, so I already beat it on PS3. So I didn't even buy it for the PS4, and I'm sure as hell not gonna buy it for the PS5.
Nah, you gotta play it for the PS5 so you can play it across three systems. You're welcome.
I'm good.
But that's wild that game lasts that long and that many people are still on it.
You know why? You know why I feel like they haven't made a new GTA game? Because the way the world is now, they're afraid that they'll do, because you know how GTA is kind of like an edgy game, at least the story is. And they kind of do make fun of sometimes race, make stereotypical things. Sometimes the game could come off as a little misogynistic sometimes. They'll have like
a little bit.
So like I said, I feel like they're not releasing the GTA 6 because they're scared that someone will probably find something and they'll get canceled, or cancel culture will not be too fondly of GTA 6. That's just my assumption. That's my assumption.
Yeah, I hey man, I didn't think of that, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. The world is in a state where I don't think it's ready for a GTA to come out, a new one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ready.
I think that's why they had GTA 5 forever, because they're like, hey, we're so making money off this, and we're kind of scared of releasing a new one. So let's just keep
doing big updates, big DLC drops.
I mean, just look at if you want, just look at San Andreas, like just YouTube videos of San Andreas. Just you can watch at least 10 minutes of San Andreas. You can find something that won't fly today.
Exactly. Oh, Smoke said for the future, don't get greedy and try to go all the way for the night. Bribe hotel security to let you get 30 minutes in the conference room. No, he's still gonna get waived. But somebody snitching. All them people in there, a lot of them married and they can't even bring their wives or their kids. Yeah, somebody snitching. No, you're gonna have to pay everybody. You can't just pay that one security guy. But yeah, I guess we're ready to dip up out of it. I think this is gonna be the second straight week we've almost gone all the way to 11. So shouts out to everybody for keeping us going. And yeah, y'all already know, man. Every Friday, 8 to 10 p.m., me and Seyi talking about everything of not just football, not just burgundy and gold. You already know he's a Patriots fan, so we're not about to just sit here and talk burgundy and gold the whole time. Anyway, that wouldn't even make sense.
The good guys.
I hate him. And so yeah, we may not be on next week, as in the 21st, but at the latest we'll be back the 28th. We'll keep y'all updated, and I believe Lyric and Z may be here. My cousins will be here the next show that we have, and we'll discuss basketball, music, and all kinds of stuff like that, and maybe even some anime when we get to that point. But I think mostly we're going to be talking about basketball. Basketball is at least going to be like an hour by itself, so that's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I probably got to move, so this might be the last time you see me in the bathroom.
No.
So I probably got to move. So that's probably why we're not having a show next week. But hey, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do my best. But I'll probably have to move that day. But I'm gonna try and make some time that night.
If it wasn't for COVID, I would come help, honestly. But yeah, so no more bathroom COVID. No more bathroom Seyi. No.
Probably last time. Who knows?
Hopefully, your next apartment has stickier walls, so you don't have to use tape for the Monet Lisa and the Kobe murals and stuff like that.
I hope so.
But all right, y'all already know every Friday 8 to 10 p.m. Maybe not next Friday, but usually every Friday 8 to 10 p.m. We'll keep y'all updated. Soon as Seyi lets me know, I'll let y'all know. And I'm gonna make sure I have it up so that y'all know on my channel. You'll go to my channel, you'll see, oh yeah, we are having a show. Then you'll know. Otherwise, if I don't put up a notification, put up a stream notification or stream reminder, a future stream date, then just assume that we won't be having the stream, because there's no way I can just be on YouTube and tell y'all, oh, we're not having it. So if there's nothing there, assume we're not having it. If we will have a stream, I will update the stream with the August 21st starting at 8 p.m. little time thing like I do with my streams on YouTube. We gotta run the yard. Okay. I'm definitely down to give the Madden thing a try. Go get your cookies and come on back. Hey, we need the new bathroom tour. With the new bathroom. Oh, okay. My mom said no more man on the can. RIP bathroom Seyi 2020 to 2020.
That's in the chat.
I'm gonna miss bathroom Seyi. Yeah, that was a thing though. That's why I didn't know you were in the bathroom until like 2-3 shows ago. That's wild. Tweet it out at least. Oh yeah, I'll definitely tweet it. I'll tweet it out. All right, y'all. So yeah, again, Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. We'll keep y'all posted. Catch y'all later. Seyi, before we dip out, anything you want to say?
Just put RIP bathroom Seyi just like on the tick. Just put it up. Just put it up. That's in the chat for that. You know what? I might just be back just in a different bathroom for y'all. Even though I have lighting everywhere else in my next place. But I'm probably gonna be staying with my parents for a time, so I'm probably gonna have lighting in the room I'm staying in. But hey, I'll probably just be in the bathroom just cause. Just
for the stream, just for the purpose of the stream.
Just for the stream.
Y'all knuckleheads better be on next week. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Again, Friday 8 to 10 p.m. Y'all already know, broadcast with your boys Rico and Seyi. we'll catch y'all next time. And Seyi better have on a damn.
Okay. Try to put my hair once.
Man, Seyi came out without a hat once, and people on his head about not having it. But all right, y'all. We'll catch